great touch. Nice. Pushes it away. The passing play can lamp up. No! Wow!
Here's coming in as well. This might actually be US economy going down. She is going to get the flash route. She's going to flash out of the way here. She's going to get down. First blood goes over to the divide. Junglers get traded over.
But is it enough to really get into the heads of these players?
It was enough to save them from making a goal, but here comes Conjure getting into the goal. Wow, what a great shot! Even the clapping hands is nice. Stormy Inferno making a goal, but here comes Conjure.
30 seconds left. Sean, Dr. Dag going to try to get this set up, but Coco is able to receive that in the air. Go put us a shot!
That was amazing.
I cannot believe it.
They might be able to turn this around. Oh my goodness!
The damage is coming in, the Sion coming in as well, but down goes Graves, down goes Bard in the back by Malzahar, able to take down Lissandra.
Oh my god, what a beefy ultimate coming in from C Sentinel here. SLC God gonna try to take somebody down. 2 kills coming in for C Sentinel, but SLC God goes down as well. C Sentinel brought down low. Bobby's gonna try to shoot something to take her out, but it looks like we might actually get a first ace here. We might actually see a pentakill here. Come on, get the pentakill for C Sentinel. Do it for the stream. C Sentinel with the pentakill. Woo!
Coco pops it up. Ibot going freestyle.
No way! Heroes defense is looking pretty strong right now, but how long can they eventually conjure? Oh, no! Look at the goal!
Almost saved it. Watch how close. The angle that hits him, not the timing.
Somebody clip that.
Welcome to TLE, everybody. Left back here, joined by JP. Welcome to another great night of League of Legends. So, tonight, first game, we have Spew versus Gladiators. How you doing, JP?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Pretty good. I'm interested in today's games. It's going to be really interesting game one, that's for sure. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about Gladiators versus Spew?
I definitely think it'll be interesting. I'm hoping for maybe a Gladiators win this time around. Hopefully, we got Gladiators versus Spew for the first game, and we got Gladiators going again on the alt stream against Teriyaki second, so maybe they can pull off like a consecutive 2-0.
That is a possibility. Always a possibility. I'm really interested to see how the junglers handle the new patch, because I feel like with this patch, it's going to focus a lot on the bot lane, and so I feel the games are going to be based off of which jungler can prioritize that bot lane. How do you feel about the new crit changes?
Personally, I'm not an ADC, so I know Yasuo has made a big comeback recently. He's absolutely dominating a lot of lanes right now because he can go back, get one item, buy Cloak of Agility, and have 100% crit already. And there's not a lot you can do about it early game when he has 100% crit within 10 minutes of a game. It's not much you can really build against until a bit later, so it's high threatening right now, but I definitely think crit items were a long awaited change. Revert some of them, and they also added the Spear of Shojin because of that. So I think it's a little interesting, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the ADCs are happy about it.
I agree. I flex between jungle and ADC, and as those players, and I majorly play crit junglers, it's impacted a lot. Like, you'll see a lot of Caitlyn, Tristana, Sivir's still good, Lucian's still good. So there's a lot of ADCs that can be played more. It's going to be really interesting to see what these teams decide to do today. Looking at our lineups, we have pretty much an all-diamond team with the exception of the mid laner on the side of Gladiators versus a majorly gold-based team in Spew. Do you think that's going to impact the game a whole lot?
I think it might, especially with that. They have the whole like mid. They're missing basically an entire rank in between them. It's basically like a gold average. You're missing an entire platinum average going right back to them. Oh, is he really still going about? Gummy, we will get to it. We're thinking about over the summer, okay? We will get to the caster fight, okay? We will have an all-out brawl of 1v1 tournaments of casters versus casters, okay? We'll get to it.
I'm okay with the caster fight. I think honestly, JP and I should take on Kurt and his.
I've already beaten him.
His caster.
I beat him once.
True. I was on your team for that actually. So.
Wait, what? You were? Did I choose? I did choose you.
You chose me. I was your Pikachu.
That was definitely interesting, but no. Later, Gummy Hat, it will happen, okay? Just be patient. We got a lot to go through. We still have a whole league season going on. But there is 2 different seasons of league for TLE right now. We are in the first one, and then we'll have our summer break, and then we go back into the next season. And we propose that over the summer break of that is when we will have our fights, and we'll see who the real King Caster is. I like that name, King Caster. Caster with a K.
Looks like we're waiting on a couple players from Spew. In the meantime, we'll get right into talking about first game. I think mid lane is going to be an interesting battle. It's going to be Diamond versus a Plat player, and a lot of the times you'll see there is a skill differential between divisions. And as a silver player, I have a friend that's a Plat player, and going against him, he sees things. There's a different mindset into it, and so I wonder how much of an impact that's going to take going into a majorly gold team, into a diamond team and a plat team. So
it is a lot. Last week we talked about vision, how it severely affects the outcome of the game. There was actually a ward that managed to last the entirety of the game until the person who actually placed the ward replaced it and got rid of it. But it sat in the enemy's blue side jungle for at least 20 minutes. And that gave a lot away when they went to go for Baron picks and where their jungler was, and they had no idea the ward was there. So it was a crucial information point, especially for the higher up ranks. That's something that they really want to cherish, like saying, hey, this person's jungle is over here. We need to take this carefully, not give away any kills.
And that's a big thing with learning how to team play is you have to keep vision up. You're safer with vision. Once you know where your team is, you can decide, okay, I can split push this lane. Okay, I can do this.
Hopefully we get this game going soon so that way everyone can go ahead.
So we're going to go through a couple of the players real quick. I know from week 1, Jarlax had a huge game on New York. Do you think that's going to be a target ban?
I definitely think so, especially with York being a massive threat right now. I've heard so many things. I'm still getting my York game getting ready to go, but I've heard he's a major threat to a lot of turrets, especially if you can somehow bait out the entire enemy team to the opposite side of the map. He can take not 1, not 2, probably 3 turrets and maybe an inhibitor behind your back, and there's no one that can stop him that fast just with his turret pushing ability. It's something that I've never seen before in any other champion, so it's definitely a high threat level for gladiators to ban against.
What other target bans do you expect to see? Because I do believe there will be a target ban on the Jarlax, even though he's the lowest ranked person in the game.
Ranks don't necessarily mean everything, so it doesn't matter who it's. If you find a champion you are good with and you know you're confident with, it can turn any fight around, and it's something that will be a threat for the rest of the season and for the rest of a lot of people's games. But I'm not sure exactly what other target bans are. I haven't seen Spew very often of myself, but maybe a target ban on Yasuo being a major threat in almost every lane, being 100% crit in 10 minutes.
I agree. It looks like we're just waiting on the jungler on the side of Spew. Jungler's always showing up late, right? All right, as we get JP into the lobby here. Again, just waiting on that one last player. Sorry for the delay, guys. Can only do so much at some point. At the end of the day, we got to wait on people. So, just a quick reminder for you guys: we do have other leagues. With Thursday being Valentine's Day, we won't be having Rocket League on Thursday, but Wednesday we do have StarCraft 2, and then on Mondays we have Call of Duty. So make sure you guys chime in for those. It's really enjoying to watch, even if you don't play those games. It's so much fun to watch. I've never played StarCraft 2 in my life, never even heard of it. I watched one night of it and had a blast.
It is a quite interesting game.
So how do you think how do you think the league's going to evolve with these patches, and how the rest of this season will end? Well, this half of the season anyway.
Not exactly sure. There's changes that can be made left and right, just like the long anticipated crit item revert and the new crit items kind of. So it's like we're waiting on to see who's really gonna take the meta here. I haven't really seen anyone ahead right now. I mean, everyone's kind of like they have their own thing. I think personally right now, assassins and people who have extremely good engage and are able to get under the enemy's defensive line, it's just something that you don't want to fight against, such as a big threat like Lysandra. So she can easily get into a backline with her E dash, not only do damage with that, but also pull right into her backline, root everyone, self ult herself, which will not only proc aftershock, which gives her extra defense, but it will also heal her. So she's just a major threat with going in, eliminating a lot of movement from the enemies, and that just allows for a lot of other things to appear out of the blue with the other teams.
I agree. Assassins are really, really big right now, and a lot of the top mid laners are Zed, Talon, LeBlanc. People that can go in, blow you up, and you don't even know what happened. Just to answer your question, Kaluna, it's Yorick. Jarlax played Yorick in week 1 and absolutely demolished the enemy team, even though he gave up first blood.
Maybe if your boy Zen is actually on the other team, he might have changed his name, I'm not sure. Or this might be an outdated. But he did destroy top lane with Silas, apparently. I watched it. and it's just not something you want to see as Silas getting ahead with that ability to steal any ultimate from the enemy.
Yeah, I think Silas is pick or ban at this point. If you pick a Lissandra, or if you could pick around it, so ults that really impact team fights, like a Lissandra ult or a Braum ult, if you can steal that and use it against them, it's very, very crucial in team fights. And so I think Silas's pick ban, if your team knows how to play around it in Champ Select, then you should be okay. But if you don't know how, then it's going to be very, very rough.
Okay.
Looks like we're getting the last player in here for you guys. Sorry for the
Yep.
delay again.
Okay, so Gummy Hat's actually wondering what our ranks are. I'm currently placed silver 4. Yeah, I'm silver 4 right now. I checked a lot of my stats and stuff. I don't want to give myself like too much like, hey, I'm this good, but I could be gold platinum level. So I'm trying to get there. It's just a lot of times just team comps don't go well and stuff goes completely wrong, as almost all the time.
I played my placements and went 4 for 4 and had 4 AFKs and the 4 losses. So I'm not even counting it. I haven't touched rank since, but I got placed silver 4. I would say I'm at least a gold level player. Maybe higher, maybe lower. Who really knows? The game is so interesting how if you go into solo queue, you have to depend on those 4 other people, and it's rough. Apparently, our producer wants us to get on a team. JP, what do you think?
I mean, I would, but we've been told not. I would.
Yeah. I would. I'd play.
Because, I mean, last time everyone seemed impressed with what I did with Darius top lane. I'm a Darius guy.
The dunk master himself.
Okay. Explain. Okay, another threat actually that might be banned. I just thought of this. Apparently, Alawi has absolutely no counter. She can lifesteal. She can poke you down. She can quadruple lifesteal off of you with her ultimate. It's just, she's such a high threat, especially if she gets just so much farm. I was Darius against Alawi because Darius is one of the only champions I actually feel comfortable with fighting Alawi. Any other champion that gets up close, I'm a bit afraid of. The early levels, it went okay. Gave her a little bit of gold ahead, but I came back and did a little bit of damage. She misstepped. Again, take advantages. If they misstep, push your advantage, which I did very well with. We got her a little bit. It was back and forth. Sometimes she solo killed me. Sometimes I solo killed her. We fought at full 5 build. We got 5 items built, and I won. Darius did beat Alawi after a very long time. It's just Alawi is a very, very, very strong character, apparently, and I don't know how to play her yet. Well, I've played her. She's just a high threat right now, in my opinion, with her constant lifesteal over Q and the massive amount of damage she can put out, also while being a tank.
I'm gonna disagree with you that nobody counters Alawi.
Who then?
Vayne.
I got 20 bullets.
Vayne is the
Except
death
ADCs.
of all bruisers. Vayne is the death of all bruisers at top lane. You take Vayne top, she destroys everybody just because she outranges them. And if they try to jump on her face, she condemns them and walks away. If you are a skilled Vayne player, and even if that's, at least 30 hours on Vayne, you can take Vayne top and win if they play a bruiser. Or even a tank. Because you're Vayne, you are a tank shredder. So...
Dude, he got me down to 1 health, bro.
When in doubt.
Really need teams to start getting ready.
Yep, they're trying to get into order here, but having some difficulties with the sub for gladiators.
Are you too busy to play some Apex?
Band-Aid!
Hey! Yo, there we go. Oh,
I just always called them Band-Aid.
bro, just
I was trying to give them...
So, are you happy about the a colleague?
Yes, I hate that champion.
I think a lot of us did, except for the people who were actually like.
It was too overpowered. The fact that you could negate tower damage.
Of course,
just
and
ridiculous.
you can just dive under turrets and then heal yourself majorly with a fully empowered Q. I'm just so happy they finally took that away.
Looks like we're about to get everything underway.
Almost there. We're almost there, guys. Hold.
Hopefully.
By that I mean it's actually just IQ being super derpy.
What's going on? What?
Okay, looks like they finally
There
figured
we go.
something out. Sorry for the delay again, everybody.
For my box. But I need more.
As again, just a quick reminder, there are other league games that we have, such as Monday is our Call of Duty day, where you get to see a lot of multiplayer and blackout options, and that's actually really cool. Maybe we'll get a league started soon for the newly, apparently, Apex Legends. Apparently, that's been a major hit right now. But we also have obviously our league nights tonight. We have our StarCraft 2 on Wednesdays. There is no Rocket League this Thursday due to Valentine's Day, so go out and treat the one you love.
Is that gonna be the head?
come on, people, please, just get in game.
Have you played Apex yet? Have you even seen anything on Apex?
I've seen Apex. It looks kind of cool. I'm just not a battle royale. And apparently, our host is saying Apex is in all cap.
How come it can roll back?
I don't know if we can't get this in order, they might have to forfeit. Apparently, maybe. I'm not sure. But they really need to know for this. Yeah, we're almost ready to go. I think we're just about almost ready. We're getting people back in the lobby. We're getting everything sorted out.
Yep, slowly getting there.
We'll have a good game going here in a moment.
At this point, I think gladiators out of rage are just going to demolish Spew.
Oh, careful. The stickers are right there.
I mean, I think a lot of us are just going to already predict, hey, Gladiators is probably going to win this fight. Not only because of the higher ranks, but they've played very well against a lot of the even tougher opponents.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. You have
Looks-
Spew in your back.
Yeah. So it looks like the sub for gladiators is actually going to sub in for Spew as their mid laner.
Interesting.
Just waiting on the last two players from Spew to jump in.
I just had an idea.
How about you have
What if we had a TLE League night for fun? That all the teams competed, yes, but in AR. I don't think we would be able to cast most of it.
Oh, I wouldn't even attempt to cast it.
I don't even know if we could. It's
Like that is a you and Kurt going
it's called
ham the
yeah.
entire time.
Maybe Kurt and I could do it. Maybe, but I mean that's a lot of stuff going.
Yeah, that's a lot. Looks like we're all ready to go. So as we finally get into this game, now that we're done having difficulties, it seems as though the mid laner for Spew decided he was going to solo queue for the night and forgot about the tournament. So with everything ready, I believe we're going to jump right into Champs.
Hello.
Oh, we're seeing if they're ready, which they should be.
Hey,
We have
everybody.
we have everyone. We have them in order. We have some. There we
Good,
go.
man.
Okay, we are now
Good.
finally in the champ select for the
Currently,
first game.
I am.
Feel like the SpongeBob meme should have came
Oh,
out
man.
in there for
Kind
the
of.
20 minutes later.
I have Sweet Victory on my sound.
With,
There it is. There it is. The Silas ban I was talking about.
I'm
They
producing,
don't
so
want that Silas
I'm
top
muted.
lane issue coming out again.
Yeah, that's a good ban. Like I said, it's pick ban at this point. If you don't know how to play it well, you just have to get rid of it.
They went for an Amumu ban. Are they not going to
Okay.
ban Yorick first thing? Will
Apparently I
Jarlax
was
get Yorick on first?
convincing in my little list of
I think
things
he has to
do.
lock it in if he gets it. I think you have to first pick it. If that's
It-
open,
honestly,
you
that-
have
I
to
mean-
first pick it.
Yorick is just such a strong champion. That's a good ban. Jace is an annoyance because I mean he's melee range. He can do anything he wants, which is actually stupid.
Okay.
He can poke you down from a range and then go in for melee for the final kill. Okay, so that's their ban for possible top lane for Urgot. They don't want to deal with an Urgot ultimate destroying anyone low of HP, sniping someone over a distance. So maybe it will be a Yorick insta pick.
As the Thresh ban comes through as well,
Um,
really overpowered in the bot lane.
Two guys kind of
But
jumped
yet,
out.
what I'm seeing a
The
lot
first one
of
would
is
be-
these
what's
late
his
game
name?
control mage
Christian?
supports.
Yeah.
Jarlax
he's
gets
the
his first pick
one.
top
He's
unless
been
he's
a
going to pick
huge proponent,
for a different
especially in
lane,
that
but that's
battle
going to be a
with,
Lucian ban.
Whatever his name is.
So
that one
Lucian and
blonde
Thresh are
kid
both
who
gone
showed
now,
up
but will Jarlax lock in his
and tried to
beloved
hijack the meeting.
Yorick?
Christian
Oh,
Ball,
yes, he is! There it is!
He
They did not
hovers it
ban
and
Yorick,
locks it
and
in.
here.
the
Yorick for the
other
split
guy
push
is,
win.
What about Jeremy?
Oh boy.
From-
Is the Yorick going to come back and haunt gladiators?
Alright,
He is
so
up
now we have an
to his
Irelia.
hand.
Is that going to be
Those were
Irelia
kind
up top
of the
or
two guys
mid
that jumped out at
lane?
me. I would
I don't
say
But
think
like
I think.
Irelia's-
from
Well, hold on here.
EDF.
If Irelia does go
I know
top,
he's
she
running
might
our-
face a bit of a threat with Yorick
our league
constantly
with,
trapping her.
StarCraft, and I don't want to.
Overall, Yorick
and he's
split
got
pushes
his team
faster
going,
than
and I
Rayleigh.
don't want to overwhelm him.
Lulu
so-
support or mid lane. I've seen mid. A Lulu mid destroy a Zed. Yes.
Lulu is secretly overpowered. Like, a lot of people don't realize that, but if you pick a high attack speed ADC, like a Varus or an Ashe with Qs, with a Lulu, it's really strong in the bot lane.
Looks like we have our Nocturne coming jungle here. No, Nocturne's a
Yeah, I agree.
big threat right now with his ultimate. I met a Nocturne in one of our games and he solo carried. He got early fed, and after that, it took a little bit too much to actually get to
Yeah.
him. So that would be a Nami support for not Gladiator side. That is Gladiator side,
Okay.
right?
Nope, that's a Nami for the
Nope, that is
Spew on
Spew.
Fair
All right,
Bat.
that's right. I was gonna say it is Spew. Oh, duh, with their name tags.
It's
Still
okay,
getting
we all
that
have
bit.
issues sometimes.
Whoa,
Looks like
wait,
a-
hold on
okay,
here. Is
could be
this
a
Twitch gonna
joke.
be jungle?
That's a really good flex pick. They have 2 flex picks already. On the side of Spew, you have to wonder what you're going into. when you
Oh,
even ban
wait,
away.
wait, hold on. They banned a Vladimir even though the top laner is already... I don't see Vladimir's going mid.
If you build Vladimir right, he's really busted right now. So I understand the Vladimir ban.
I mean, but
And
it's normally a
it could be a
Vladimir
mid lane.
top. Well, maybe. But definitely we have a Sejuani ban. Strong jungle bans. So Nocturne's going to be a little bit safe.
I think
The Zoe ban too. She's a high damage threat. She's just... I've seen a Zoe Dark Harvest and all of a sudden just one-shots a person from full health, and it's... You can't do anything about it. You can't block it, you can't... It's super hard to dodge it when you can't see it.
I have a feeling like
And a final Kindred ban for Spew. Getting a lot of the junglers off. So is that a Lulu mid?
I did the.
It could be a Lulu top, honestly.
The communication.
Maybe
that is
Lulu's
true.
their counter to Yorick.
Lulu's just... what is going on here? We will find out.
Very
Octapede's got 10 seconds left to pick. What's he gonna
Very
do? Is it gonna be the
interesting
ADC? It will be Ashe.
Ashe.
Not such a good pick, probably against the Lulu.
But more than likely,
I'm
Lulu's not in
actually,
bot
like,
lane, so is it really
as
that
I'm
bad of a
producing,
pick?
Is it?
kind of
Maybe.
working my-
We don't know yet. Is it?
And I was just gonna.
So it is gonna be
just in case it
Braum
didn't go through.
Twitch most likely. Braum Twitch bottom lane. We got no. Whoa. Okay. So final thought here. Ezreal Braum bottom. Twitch jungle Lulu mid. Right? Yep. There it goes. Okay.
That's what it's looking
Yeah,
like.
I'm
It could all they could also
I'm
swap
definitely
late.
interested.
They did.
could be a
They
Lulu
already have the
top.
swap.
Continues
Maybe.
on and goes for Dream.
Don't know if Syndra from RG Kaluna knows she has smite.
Remember, RG Kaluna is part of Gladiators. This could be a troll.
True, but maybe.
Okay.
Unless they're just forgetting, but I mean,
It'll probably.
that's
have to
just
be
not a nice thing
Saturday.
to do. I mean, but it's really Spew's fault though. It's their laner's fault.
I agree entirely.
Oh, here we go. Syndra with smite.
Why?
All right, and now we're two
Oh,
spectators.
she changed it last. She
Oh, she
changed
did?
it last minute to
Oh,
teleport.
man.
She barely got that in. Oh, that was
Why
that was
is
going to
this
be a
not
really
going on?
interesting
Come
pick.
on.
Otherwise, around the board, summoners all match. I'm really surprised that Ezreal, on the side of Gladiators,
Oh,
isn't
yes, why do you
running
hate
teleport. So the strategy with that is, as soon as you have enough gold for tier, you back
All right,
buy tier
thanks,
and
buddy.
teleport back to lane because you
See ya.
need the tier early. But as we're
So,
waiting,
yeah,
our producer has a highlight video from 2018. Hope you guys enjoy that. Give JP and I a quick break before we get into the game. We'll catch up with you guys back on the Rift.
Oh, great touch. Get up there, Wheeler. Nice. Pushes it away. The passing play can lamp bot. No.
Players coming in as well. This might actually be US economy going down. She is going to get the flash route. She's going to flash out of the way here. She's going to get down. First blood goes over to the Vi. Junglers get traded over.
But is it enough to really get into the head of these players?
It
Like
was enough to save them from making a goal, but here comes Conjure getting into the goal. Brown, what a great shot! Even the clapping hands, nice. Storm the Inferno like a puppet.
30 seconds left. Sean, Dr. Dag going to try to get this set up, but Coco is able to receive that in the air. And put us in shot.
Amazing.
I cannot believe it.
Oh my goodness! The damage is coming in, the Sion coming in as well, but down goes Graves, down goes Bard in the back. My mouth are able to take down Lissandra.
Oh my god, what a beefy ultimate coming in from C Sentinel here. SLC God gonna try to take somebody down. 2 kills coming in for C Sentinel, but SLC God goes down as well. C Sentinel brought down low. Bobby's gonna try to do something to take her out, but it looks like we might actually get a first ace here. We might actually see a pentakill here. Come on, get the pentakill. 4C Sentinel, do it for the stream. C Sentinel with the pentakill. Woo!
So pops it up. iBot going freestyle. No way!
Hero's defense is looking pretty strong right now, but how long can they eventually conjure? Oh, Steve will get the goal!
Almost saved it. Watch how close the angle that gives him, not the timing.
Somebody click that.
Alright, and just like that, we're back at the loading screen. So, JP, something I forgot to touch on previously, but one thing I think is a problem for Spew is their previous mid laner. Their mid laner they had in week 1, his account got perma-banned.
Oh.
And so, for those...
So another thing I wanted to quickly point out here. Lulu is mid, so that makes for a pretty easy polymorph on Syndra and shielding from her ultimate. It's just going to be really interesting to see which team really does have the better engage. I'm seeing a lot of assassins on Spew's side, and then a lot of kind of backline poke from gladiators.
Overall, Gladiators have the better team fight comp, but yet the split push comp from the Yorick Ashe, if you put Ashe with Nocturne or Nami, their split push is equal to Yorick. So will Gladiators be able to answer both lanes pushing that hard?
I think maybe in team fights, Gladiators will win. But if Spew is able to pull off a 1-3-1 or 3-2 or whatever combination they want to do, someone is going to have to answer and split up, and that may not be something that Gladiators...
As we load in Rift, welcome to the game. I was early. I apologize.
There we go. Finally getting our first seconds of the game. Only 33 minutes late.
So just a heads up to the teams playing later, we are going to be about a half hour behind, but we will get the games in no matter what. I'm okay with staying up a little bit later, so...
Maybe. If it gets late enough, I might actually have to go. I have early class. I have Tuesdays completely off.
Okay.
But not Wednesday. And I'm in CST, so I'm an hour.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Earlier that Ezreal poke.
As Lulu and Syndra dodge each other's skill shots and everything, looks like Twitch is going to start at his red buff. As you see the ward in Pixel Brush on the top side. And one thing that really helps games is the vision. And when you place that pixel ward, you can see if their enemy jungler goes for the Scuttle Crab. If so, as a jungler, you can choose to either invade and take his buff or take the opposite Scuttle. It's really all dependent on what you decide to do based off.
I think we have an early level 2 Twitch gank coming out top lane already. Alright.
Went for
Twitch
the level
is
2 cheese.
finally coming in easy for the easy cheese gank from level 2. Twitch is just constantly stacking the damage. York did flash out, but that will be a flash from Irelia, and right on top of York getting that easy first blood. Right off top of him. Twitch actually picked up that kill, so Irelia actually may have just wasted flash. He's going to teleport right back in, and Twitch is just going to come right back to it. Twitch is going to go right back in on top of York, and York may not even realize this yet. He just did get stunned, and York is already back in trouble again. The burn and poison, Twitch may be taking one step too far, and that will be an execution for Twitch. Too bad Jarlax did not get a single hit.
That is really unfortunate, and sometimes, you know, if you get too greedy, it's going to cost you, and that time it cost Twitch. Though I have seen a lot of this in solo queue, but if you get executed, your bounty disappears. It drops significantly, and so I wonder, was it worth it to keep yourself from getting that bounty? Because bounties easily can get teams back into the game.
Especially with that patch of, we have not been trying to game, but that's not much. Is Syndra being poked out right on top of him. Easy pokes and slows right back. Syndra with a great knockback with her E. I do not think Lulu actually had polymorph at that time, so there was not a lot she can do. But if Twitch comes back and Lulu has that polymorph, I don't think Syndra might be able to escape.
I agree, and this looks like a really gank-happy jungler on the side of Gladiators, which is going to really help them late game. As if they had that quickly, they can win game that much easier.
So why don't you tell me about what's going on with these jungles? We have Nocturne completely invading Twitch's blue side. And Nocturne's blue, but he's actually going to leave, so Twitch is falling behind in farm, but he does have a kill, so who is the real king of the jungle here?
Nocturne ganks are really hard to do pre-level 6, because if you're level 6, it's an all-in
And
game.
that is a death. Did not even, it was so fast that we didn't even see it happen. Just the Aurelia damage coming out from the Conqueror is just so much on top of Yorick. Yorick can't sustain enough early to actually fight against a high damage output.
I agree, and I believe so. Pretty much on that jungler pathing, the Nocturne knew that Twitch was top. He ganked from the top side mid, and he ganked top twice. That is full. That screams to me as a jungler. Take my bot side jungle. It's yours, and that's why he has the farm differential. Yes, Twitch has a kill, and they're probably about even in gold at the moment, but Twitch doesn't get a blue buff. Twitch doesn't get get wolves or drum. That's very, very extramental. Not a
Twitch
whole
coming in for an easy gank in mid lane. Just a nice, beautiful pathing right around the back of Syndra's. She's going to get easy polymorph right on top of Lulu. She did have to flash away, and that might not be enough. That is a good knockback and electrocute for... Oh, the flash coming in and the E off Twitch just enough to kill Syndra. This Twitch is already becoming a...
And that's what we were talking about in pregame, the assassin junglers. And Twitch, with his Q becoming invisible, he is an assassin.
We'll have to say right here, I really did just take a turret shot. That might be an easy kill for Nocturne from Spew to take up. Just a nice fear right as she dashes away, and that will be an easy kill for Nocturne to pick up. The dash away was just not enough range to actually get out of it. We have Lulu actually coming in top with her ultimate, so she is able to roam and get some gank.
As we see the control wards start to play out and join us onto the map, this Ashe bot lane is doing really well into this Ezreal. Looks like health bars are about even, CS is even, as Twitch jumps in jungle.
Alright, that will be a easy kill for Nocturne. Nocturne is now ahead by a lot. He just got an easy shutdown right on top of Twitch. Let's see here. 400 gold ahead of Twitch. Not to mention the farm he has puts him really far ahead. So So Nocturne is now showing his true prowess. Like, hey, Twitch, you might be a cheese ganker, but you are not that strong.
As we see a lot of more farming, and as Aurelia fights the York again, and York has to just stay under tower and play safe the entire time. Already has half the CS of the Aurelia.
I just think Gladiator is a really high damage output right now with Ezreal and Irelia both having Sheen right now, just those early ability power procs. Just something that Spew might not be able
I shall perform your rites.
An engage from Irelia top lane. Oh, he did not get the proc off from the flash. That will be a death for York. York did flash, but Irelia did get the mark on top of him, which let her dash again to him to get outside of his wall. And that did not end very well. You have a bit of a skirmish back in the middle jungle. That is a Braum freeze and a Lulu polymorph. Just the CC was just too much for Syndra to actually.
And it looks like the Syndra just overextended a lot. She didn't have a lot of backup. She just kind of walked into river and didn't realize she was getting collapsed on. And part of that is the lack of vision. On the side of Gladiators, I'm seeing 3 control wards placed and only 1 on the side of Spew. Excuse me, 2 control wards on the side of Spew. That's a big difference.
We have Twitch coming in. Braum with the flash ultimate, Ezreal ultimate, and Twitch all ulting down there, and there's nothing they can do about it. Where is Nocturne? Nocturne is actually ulting right on top of Lulu mid, and Nocturne will almost die for that. Lulu with the ultimate and shielding is just too much. I am surprised Ashe and Nami got bottom from Twitch, Ezreal, and Braum. If they managed to live through that, it did burn almost all their summoners. They might have a chance to actually come back for this.
As Aurelia TPs to River to go help mid lane, as Ezreal loses a lot of health to a tower shot. Aurelia stuns Syndra as Syndra just kind of sits
Really
on the
being
tower.
greedy right under tower. She has the fade, she has the boots, she has the health and corrupting potions to actually dive under tower.
But with her going mid and getting that kill, York was allowed to free farm for a bit, and he's slowly catching up.
Slowly but surely, and that's the name of York's game.
York is kind of like Nasus in the sense that if you let him free farm, he will destroy your team. And so you have to just constantly be in his face.
Really trying to re-engage on top of Jarlax with Twitch being right under the... Easily being seen by the revealing stealth of the... And because of that, that will cost Gladiators a drag.
And an Infertile Drag at that. Maybe Ezreal, Braum, and Lulu can do something here? As Twitch roams down, Ezreal ults, but Spew is still
Good
able to
Ashe
catch his
ultimate
dragon
right on top
as
of
Ashe
Braum.
ults on the Braum. Braum leaps. Nami ult. That's a dead Braum. Maybe a dead
Got Twitch
Ashe.
coming in down over.
Twitch coming in, and they're
Twitch with
really
the
low health
ultimate.
other than the Nocturne. Nocturne gets buffed as Twitch falls, and now Ashe and Syndra on the Lulu as Ezreal comes in and cleans up the Ashe. Looks like a 2 for 3 in that, and Aurelia is just going to clean house on the Syndra.
overall, just absolute brawl that did not end so well for Spew. We have Irelia ahead with a major bounty on her head. We have Twitch, and we have Ezreal now coming in with a bounty too. This is not looking too good for
I agree. Spew falling really far behind, already down 4K at 12 minutes into the game.
Look at that, exactly like you said, York is just taking the turrets and no one's came to answer him yet. We got Irelia recalling and Lulu coming up top lane to finally answer, but look at that turret.
That is the power of York. York decides, I'm going to take this tower, there's nothing you can do about it. And backing off when he did was good play. He knew somebody had to be coming at some point. It's better to back off when you know you're safe than when you're not.
Look at all the vision near top, and Gladiators has 3 control wards all over top. Ooh, did not even see that. Twitch all over Syndra. Twitch is just walking into lanes because of his invisibility, and there's not much Syndra can. This might be first turret going into Gladiator because Irelia just seems to keep roaming. They did do a lane swap for Irelia to go over mid and get some kills, and Syndra is falling behind very fast. Maybe this is a ploy and they're letting Syndra give them free. I mean, to be fair, Spew did have the player.
As an easy pick bot lane happens,
I swear I can't even see these deaths going on. Irelia finally engaging. Nami misses the bubble. She does get slowed. Irelia does get level 11 in the middle of the fight. Ezreal does get the ultimate off. Ashe completely demolishing Irelia's mobility with her frozen arrow, and there's nothing she can do about it. I don't necessarily think Nocturne should have ulted for that, but it was a nice, clean, secure kill, especially giving Nocturne the gold bounty.
I agree, it's entirely necessary. It negates the Ezreal ult. You know, it gives him the possibility of missing that ult as Twitch and Lulu go in.
Poison damage so much. Twitch is just so far ahead now. Even though Nocturne, yes, he is farming quite well, it's just not enough to keep up with the 6 kills that.
Alright, and Nocturne's starting to realize some of this vision in the top side. Aurelia on the bot side here. Ashe and Nami. Misses the stun. Are Ashe and Nami able to fight this? And it looks like they're going. Oh. Ashe is about to get collapsed on by 3 members of Gladiators. Great Ashe ult. Twitch takes 2 tower shots, and Ashe looks like she's about to walk out and live. Gets ignited, picks up a kill, and still manages to live. Very, very great outplay on the side of Ashe. Ashe is now 5-1. Can Ashe survive, or is Twitch going to kill her? It looks like Twitch kills her. Really unfortunate. As Spew takes Rift Herald. Looks like Gladiators are going to take another tower. In the meantime, it didn't realize that mid tower on the side of Gladiators had fallen. And looks like Lulu's actually going to run away from a skirmish. He ate both the Nocturne and the Syndra ult and lives with barely any health. That's part of the Lulu shielding that's just really overpowered.
There's a lot going on right now. We got a couple skirmishes. We got fights going in and out. We got wards being taken and replaced. We got fights everywhere. So right now, Lulu is standing 0-1-7, but we have Twitch and Ezreal and Irelia come so far ahead. I mean, look at the gold difference between Irelia and Yorick. There is a 3,000 gold difference. That's almost a full item that Irelia has on top of the Yorick.
And once again, vision coming into play as the entire top side of the jungle is warded on the side of gladiators, whereas Spew only has 5 wards out on the map entirely. You know, and vision is very, very big in this game. And that's part of why Twitch is so ahead, and Ezreal has the 2 kills, and Aurelia has 5 kills, is because there's no vision on the side of Spew.
She was just able to roam, and there was no one that could really deal with it because Yorick was just so far behind. He couldn't come and help. He had to actually stay up and farm, so it's a good idea for Irelia to switch. Now we got Irelia in the bot lane pushing, we got Lulu in the top lane getting that farm. It's not really looking that good for Spew. Spew has some good plays. This Ashe is doing very well. Dodged a lot of abilities bot lane, but they really do have to play around the Ashe ultimate and the Nocturne being able to solo people out, and then they can push their advantage.
As Ashe leashes the red buff again to the Nocturne, helping them clear it that much faster, it looks like they might be going for an all-in on this mid lane. There are only 3 of them present, but Aurelia is slowly walking up. Lulu does have teleport as an Ashe arrow hits. Nocturne ults, shuts down the Twitch as a teamfight breaks out. Aurelia ult in, Syndra ulted. That is as gladiators running for their lives. Syndra taken really low. Ezreal very low as well. Aurelia still. Braum 3/4 health. Ezreal getting poked down really, really low in this.
That control ward completely. I mean, it was a control ward, and Twitch knew he was standing, yet he didn't take it out. Why?
Yeah, a lot of questionable moves on the side of gladiators, and that was a really bad fight on their side, but really good. Nocturne picked up a kill and shut down the Twitch. Nocturne has full Bork built. Looks like Ashe will back with full Phantom Dancer now. As Twitch gets a Runaan's, it looks like he's building Phantom Dancer now. Doesn't have a lot of damage, but has a lot of attack speed, which helps him get a little bit of damage out a lot faster.
Might have a little bit of a fight going over here in
Good dodge on the side of Yorick as Nocturne drops in some fear. As a summoned Rift, just as it is about to expire, it's a really interesting summon. I don't know if they're able to push with it or not. Syndra about to get caught out really hard by the Ezreal and the Aurelia as Ashe arrow misses. Lulu pushing bot side. And looking at the build and everything, it looks like Lulu almost built it as a secondary support for the Ezreal.
I mean, that's the job of Lulu mid. She just has to survive and farm, which she can really do well with her passive. And then she can survive with her ultimate and her shield being up so frequently. There's not much a ganker can do. So all she has to do is just group with her teammate, and she just helps her teammates do more damage. Not only that, but she can hurt too. Polymorph someone, and that might just be the death of you in that time of a short polymorph.
I agree, as Aurelia takes down the Rift Herald in top. Looks like Ashe and Lulu are fighting it out, and Ashe might win this fight. And Ashe takes down Lulu. Very low health, but takes her down still. And Ashe getting more and more fed. Ezreal comes in and misses.
A major team fight going on it. Oh, that's a miss. I read.
But Twitch comes in to clean everything. Aurelia ult misses.
That Aurelia ult would have hit, there might have been a much bigger fight happening, but because it missed, everyone just...
And looks like Twitch is going to pick off the Ashe, and Ashe doesn't see it coming. Twitch is just going to shred her. Oh, what a great Ashe arrow. And almost kills the Twitch. Nocturne goes in on the Ezreal, gets stunned, and just obliterated by the Ezreal. Ezreal is starting to deal a lot of damage as the TP comes in behind everything. Braum jumps away. Aurelia behind him, and they don't realize it. They keep going in for bites. Aurelia starting to pick them off one by one. Now Aurelia just shreds Werecat on Nami. And York not able to walk away. And that looks like a free dragon on the side of Gladiators.
Not looking very good for Spew here. We got a 5-1-1 Ezreal. We got a 6-3 Irelia. We got an 8-4. They actually are going to go for Baron right now.
And honestly, it's a good play. Nocturne is up. But with the Aurelia there, there's not a whole lot you can do. And Twitch has 3 levels on Nocturne.
Braum might be executed here if he's not careful.
Syndra comes in. Interesting choice. As Ashe is coming in now, his red team takes it, but they might get aced here at the end of it. Aurelia took a lot of damage. Twitch in Baron Pit dealing a lot of damage. Twitch with all that attack speed just shredding everyone. And both Twitch and Lulu able to walk out of that. And the Lulu is playing as a support for the Twitch. Is Twitch getting maybe a little too greedy here? Playing really smartly, going out of turret range to come back in. And I believe they will take the tower.
Twitch and Ezreal are just so far ahead. There's just not much you can really do about it. Twitch is just sitting in the back line and no one can get to him. Like I said, it's all about the engage. They don't really have anyone with a quick dash in, and there's no one to get to the back line where Twitch and Ezreal and Lulu are just poking down the competition. I don't think Spew has a lot of...
I agree entirely on that, as the Yorick sends everything onto the Ezreal. Nocturne ults in on the Ezreal, gets to him. Braum ult saves the Ezreal, as Braum's going to fall in place of the Ezreal, doing what a support should and sacrificing himself.
As we both can agree that this game might not be much longer for Spew. They can't really hold out anymore. Ashe does very well, but since Ashe gets focused down on Twitch and no one else goes after Twitch, there's not much that anyone can do against him, especially without the new crit item. IE finally being...
Yeah, with Twitch having Infinity Edge now, he's almost unkillable. The only thing missing is lifesteal, which he's holding that control ward in place for that. As it looks like Ezreal is starting to go for his board.
And there we go.
On the Nami, and that's a dead Nami, and that's dead Ashe as well. Twitch just, his attack speed is too great, along with Lulu there to make sure he doesn't die.
There's just nothing. I mean, you watched it. The Twitch just had 3 shots. 3 shots on Nami. Go 2 shots, Ashe. Gone.
That's part
Nocturne,
of
maybe 4.
Crit.
There's not much you can do for a 14-4 Twitch. He's getting greedy for that penta. And that might just cost him.
Yep, as he
giving
dies.
Yorick that shutdown.
Yorick picking up a big kill, and you know, maybe that's enough for Yorick to get back into this game. Ezreal's still doing a lot of damage to him, but he is destroying these Baron minions very, very quickly as Ashe ults in. Hits the Braum, and Nocturne decides to ult the Braum and dies for it by the Ezreal. You gotta think in these team fights, you have to focus the Ezreal, otherwise he's going to sit back and do damage like he is now. Ezreal and Aurelia just cleaning house, and that is an ace. And I believe that will be game. They have the minions.
That will be game. There's nothing that Spew can do about it. Irelia getting those early kills from Twitch, and then Twitch just constantly ganking before Nocturne had a chance to. I don't think Gladiator was wanting to mess around for Spew, so that will be Gladiators 1, Spew 0.
I agree. Great game. And overall, I think it was just a snowball effect of the Twitch getting fed and the Aurelia getting fed and Ezreal not even getting touched. Had the perfect game, went 9-0-4. JP, what were your thoughts overall of the game?
I definitely think that those early kills on York shut down his split pushing potential, and then Twitch is just such a much higher threat to any other lane than Nocturne just due to his invisibility. Those early kills that he got are not something you want to look forward to. I don't know if Syndra really was on their side the entire time. I mean, she did go 1-9. She was very far out of position a lot of the time. And there's just not much you can really do against a team who has been completely fed. The backline got fed, and there's not really much that you can do for it.
All right, got a quick minute for a player interview. Let's try to get the jungler from...
Yeah, Gladiator. The Twitch.
Yeah, so Bluxy, if you're available, go ahead and jump into the Aqua Dome. We'll get you in here. So real quick, while we're waiting for that, let's look at the stats for that game. And JP, why don't you run me through that real quick? Is what you thought that game was?
So, as you could tell, the Twitch had a bit higher damage, and by that I mean twice as much as Nocturne. I definitely think he had a very high threat, a much higher threat than Nocturne. I mean, Nocturne ult is almost the same thing as Twitch's invisibility. It's just the fact that Twitch can do it every 5-6 seconds or so and appear out of lane, get that bonus attack speed for coming out of invisibility. There was not a lot of peel that Spew had to peel for the Ashe, who was almost their only chance. So there was not much backline, and there was not much engage for Spew to go into the backline of Gladiators and tear apart the Twitch that was absolutely destroying everyone. Have Bluxy, the jungle for Gladiator.
How's it
All
going?
right. Going pretty good. Congrats on the win. You played really well. Break the game
Aside
down
from,
for us.
You know, getting minion blocked in the top lane on that level too. Anyway, so the game, I decided I wanted to play some Twitch jungle because my team asked me I could play whatever or told me I could play anything I wanted because, you know, the current meta, it's usually Sejuani and Xin Zhao, so they said, you know what, we want to give you some freedom. And I knew I had to pick that Twitch jungle. It's the classic. And basically, I mean, everyone knows Twitch jungle. It's you gotta cheese to win. So I had to go with the red buff strat lane to top lane. And luck in our favor, we actually got the Yorick the first time, and we tried to get the second cheese, but that's when it ended up getting minion blocked and got executed. But either way, yeah, I think basically it was like, you know, if anything goes wrong, we have the late game scaling with the Lulu Twitch, but I mean everyone popped off, so it went pretty well for us, I think.
I agree entirely, and part of that was, you know, if I see a Twitch jungle on the enemy team, I know I'm going to get level 2 cheesed if I'm on the top side. Depending on what side you start on. I know I'm going to get cheesed, so I try to play safe, and it looked like the York just didn't play safe in that. He didn't.
Yeah, once I saw the Nocturne Syndra, I got a little worried, not going to lie, but the Yorick definitely should have played maybe a bit safer there, as Either way, yeah. If Yorick didn't get behind, I would be a little worried about his split push as well, because as we all know, the split push is pretty strong by Yorick. But yeah.
So, go ahead, JP.
Okay, so quick question for you. I swear this always happens every time we try to talk. So quick question: when was the turnaround point? Like we saw Nocturne get that early shutdown on top of you. What was the turning point? Where did the kills just start coming out from? What item gave it to you?
I have not played Twitch in the current crit patch. It used to be like, I mean, it's usually a 3-item. Like you get your red smite with the like you get your initial jungle item. That's like kind of your first. It helps you clear, right? And then you get your hurricane, and that's kind of just like I don't do damage, but now I can like do a little bit, and I can hit AOE and clear really fast. And it's usually the 3rd item. Usually I would go. Usually Infinity Edge is the item, but I went Phantom just because of the new passive for like the Nocturne and Syndra. So this game, I think it was the fourth item. That gave me like, that was like not necessarily the turnaround because I was able to get some cheese kills, but like once I got Eye Edge, it was kind of like no one could really like kill me, and I was just one-shotting everyone. So yeah, it was probably the Eye Edge. So I'd say 4th item, but usually Twitch is like a 3rd item kind of jungle.
So a question in chat was, why do you think Twitch jungle is good and competitive? And I honestly don't think it is.
I think it's horrible in competitive. I think I got lucky off getting a cheese kill, because usually you won't be able to get a cheese kill very easily. But I mean, that's the main reason everyone was like flaming me, saying don't play Twitch jungle. But you know, I had to draft Twitch jungle.
I agree. And so one other thing I thought of in the middle of all that was the Lulu mid more of a support for you?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it used to be like... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was gonna say, the Lulu mid, initially the plan was... Because, like, the whole strategy of, like, funneling obviously doesn't work very efficient anymore. Like, obviously you can still do it, but... I mean, with the XP and gold debuffs on the junglers early game, it was like, the plan was like, Lulu, you go like Luden's Echo, and then get Ardent, and then just go full AP. Because, like, we weren't going to do like the support item and have her follow me around. So, I mean, the Lulu was initially not supposed to be... Obviously, it was supposed to just apply the W and the ultimate on me with like an Ardent Sensor full AP. But he ended up rushing Ardent because, like, I mean, I did get ahead, and it kind of just worked out that way. But yeah, it was initially supposed to be more of like a damage build and just apply the passive, so that was like plan, but it ended up differently than we thought.
One more question real quick before we cut you out. Was your sub playing for Spew, was that a troll pick? Because for the longest time... Yep. So that's your guys' sub.
That's our coach. But
that's your coach? Did he feed on purpose?
No. I told him at the start that I was going to... Basically, like, before we even knew he was subbing, I was like, yeah, I'm probably just going to camp mid or top. And then the second he said that he was going to sub, I was like, if I make you feed, or we make you feed, it's going to seem like you're like, throwing kills. But that's initially why I went top, because I didn't want to make it seem like we were, like, win trading or anything, because, like, that's not cool. But, no, like, I mean, he did fine early. Like, we didn't really get anything off until, like... After I got like 2 items, I'd say. I just kind of can't top more than mid. That's one of his only pick. He plays like Syndra, Talon, and Zoe, and we banned the Zoe because that's like one of the main things he plays. But yeah, it definitely was not like at all. Like that would pretty yikes.
Understandably, completely. Thanks for clarifying. I had to ask. He
No, I
went 1
know.
and 9.
It was kind of.
We had to know.
We were kind of worried after. Like, we were like, please, like, don't do anything. And he was like, no, like, I'm going to try completely. Like, if you lose to me, that's on you guys. Like, he was like fully tryharding on the enemy team. But I know him. Like, we're all like pretty nice guys, and like he was definitely, he's not the guy that would like try and do that.
All right, JP, you got any last questions before we get game 2 started?
No, I do not. I'm excited to get this. So actually, here's the thing: we will be seeing you right back in game,
Probably on Cesar Zin, unfortunately.
unless Sejuani gets banned. But Xin Zhao is definitely strong.
That is true. Yeah.
If you hear that enemy team, you know who to ban. Just target ban all the.
I don't know about that.
I'm still waiting
I
to see the
wouldn't say
record.
jungle's
I am
bad.
still waiting to see the record beaten. We had a record game of 6 jungler bans in one.
Wait, what was this?
This
Last
was
week.
first week. No, was it last week or was I think it was first week actually?
Last week
I'd
we
like
had
to meet
6
with
as
those
well.
players.
Really?
Yep.
2 6 jungle bans. God, I mean jungle is like, I think jungle is the role to be right now. You can almost do anything you want in the jungle, almost anything, not everything. But it's just such a powerful role. So it's definitely something you don't want
In
to mess around
competitive, it
with.
is powerful for sure. Solo queue, not the most, but we're not talking about solo. Yeah, I don't know about 6 jungle bans though, because like, I mean,
Unless your jungler carries you all the time, then yeah, it's not.
I mean,
You've
yeah, that
got-
is.
If you've got 4 silver players and a challenger jungler, I'd understand
Okay, well,
6 jungle
that
bans.
is completely understandable.
Like maybe then. But
Maybe,
other than
just
that,
maybe.
other than that, it's just ridiculous. I remember preseason when I was playing for No Sleep Gaming, we had actually all of their bans were jungle bans. All 5 of their bans were based on our jungler. And he played the enemy jungler's main, and we still won. So
I mean, like, the question is, would you rather verse a Xin Zhao, or would you rather verse a Lucian Braum with, like an Aurelia top? Like, that, like, that's kind of like... I would definitely swerve towards banning out the other lanes, but, yeah. I don't know, that's crazy, though.
all right, looks like we're going to jump right into game 2, so thanks for the interview, Bluxy.
Thanks.
Good luck in your next game, man.
Thank you. Peace out.
Oh, here we go again.
All
Still
right. We're getting teams in here for game 2. Going to get this started so we can get game 3 underway here relatively shortly. JP, looking at this matchup of Gladiators versus Teriyaki Boys, what do you think the outcome is going to be?
I'm not entirely sure. I know that Drakkar is a big threat, so we might see a couple more jungle bans that we were just talking about. I'm not exactly sure. This will be close. This game will be a bit more close. Bless you. Definitely be a bit closer. So this will be a much more
Apparently I wasn't
invoked game of who's gonna be the smarter player.
I agree. And it's going to come down to a lot of... Honestly, it's going to come down to vision. It's going to come down to bot lane prioritization, which is one thing we didn't really see in that last game. Like Bluxy said, he mainly focused on camping mid and top. He didn't really camp bot lane at all. He was there, but he wasn't. And that's the thing, is bot lane with the crit changes, ADCs are crucial to win games. And if your ADC falls behind, it's just going to be an uphill battle.
They seem to have a bit of a camera.
As everybody can see our Discord conversation right now.
Yep.
There we
Okay,
go.
come on. Mine's still not working. This thing is so...
All right, just waiting on one more player. But otherwise, other than that, it looks like it's going to be a very close game. A lot of plats, a lot of diamonds in this game. So
Yeah, definitely be a much closer game than last time. So hopefully this time it won't be as delayed. Thank you, actually, Vanestella, for following TLE Alt. Make sure to go follow the main channel too. And Nolv2, oh boy. Thank you for following TLE Alt. Oh boy, Nolv2, my friend.
make sure
I
you guys
brought him here.
also. You brought him here. You got to be happy with him. They at least showed up.
I'm bringing. Oh my god, and Kaluna's following too. We just got 3 follows in a
All
row.
right, Kaluna, great job, man. Realizing you're the coach, I had to call you out. You
Yeah, I
fed.
didn't realize that he was actually the.
I didn't either. But at least technically you couldn't
And
lose.
another follow from Zen Brule. What is going on here?
We got popular real quick. That's what happened. All right, everybody's in here. Looks like we're just getting a couple more things situated. As Kaluna makes his... Oh, maybe not.
Kaluna said they had no 5th member, and I asked, they all wanted me, so I helped. I even gave out my team's weaknesses.
Good coaching, good coaching.
Oh boy. I mean, you can only help so much. One person can only do so much in the game unless you're absolutely 30 and 0.
All right, as we get into Champ Select, finally. On the left side, we have Gladiators. On the other side, we have Teriyaki Boys. So, I don't know
see.
if
So
you
who
can
are the
target ban. I don't know if you can.
There's just because everyone has like a pretty big champion pool. They know what they're doing. They have the counter picks. Oh, they might have had an issue here. Oh, they need pro draft.
Okay, so they're doing pro draft, and what pro draft is it's the same method. You draft everything outside of client, and so when it comes to in client, it makes everything move a lot faster.
There we go. And we're waiting on a quick little shift here.
All right, as the bans come through. First ban is a Soraka.
All right.
And it's very, very interesting.
Wait, how did you see this? You click. Is it the pro draft thing?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So actually, I'm not. I won't call out picks or bans. I'm just going to watch. I won't say a
Yeah,
whole
we just
lot
have to
about
watch.
them.
We'll wait until the actual stream starts.
Yep. So just going through the Teriyaki Boys, what do you think win condition is for Teriyaki Boys after Gladiators coming off that huge win against Spew?
Definitely be aware of ganks and making sure that you know what's going to happen. Like, you keep the vision up. That's not what Spew did. Spew did not have a lot of vision control, so I definitely think they need more vision than they think they do. They're just going to keep an eye on the jungler, making sure they do not give away free kills to Bluxy.
I agree, and like you said, Drakkar is a really, really good jungler. And their bot lane is very good as well. So I wonder, we going to see Drakkar camp bot lane and try to put some stress on Hacky Sack Joe and Herox 4 on the side of Gladiators?
Definitely be interesting to see. Got to look back at the. Ooh. So we have some interesting stuff going on here. So yeah, we'll just have to wait for this to go on. We need it. Hopefully this doesn't happen next week. We've always had some week of issues going on, but we're getting it. It's still early in the season. Everyone's still having some fun. So.
Yep, I agree entirely.
So one thing I quickly do want to mention. There is once 9.4 comes out, Conqueror is going to be changed to something a bit more threatening. And I don't think we're going to see a lot of Yasuo in 9.4 due to the high number of bans he's probably going to get hit for. Conqueror is being changed to no longer proc on minions or monsters. It can only be procced on champions. Once you get to 5 stacks of Conqueror, not only do you, for every stack of Conqueror you get up to 5, you get bonus adaptive damage based upon your build. But once you get at maximum, not only does it grant bonus stuff too, but it also grants 10% lifesteal. So that is something that's going to make a lot of engageable champions very dangerous, especially for champions like Yasuo, who gets 100% crit almost instantly and can just constantly be in a fight in a champion's face. It's not going to be something a lot of people are going to want to deal with.
I agree. I think if any champion loses it in lane, any champions that use it now in lane, for example, Jax, if you take Jax top, you should be running Conqueror. I think Jax will also be, pick ban at that point.
In the final stage, we're almost ready to go. We got some. Can't wait for you guys. This is going to be something interesting going to go on here. So definitely, so far looking like a good game.
Yeah, I'm very, very interested to see how this goes, and I will keep this pro draft held up. So when they go into pick ban on stream, I'll make sure everything's accurate. If it's not, I'm going to call them out on it instantly because that's not okay.
Yeah, yeah. We had instances last week of bans that went through before we were even ready. We didn't have anything. We weren't ready to go, so we had to keep the bans and picks the same. So it's something that teams do have to watch out for faults and stuff like that.
How do you think Rain is going to do in top lane against your boy? Because your boy is a very good player.
If I didn't see a Silas ban, so
I didn't either, and there's no top lane.
He might be playing Silas, and there was no top laner ban from Teriyaki. So, interesting team comps here. Definitely going to be an interesting. Oh my god! So this will be interesting.
Wow.
Lots just lots of damage, lots of it, and assassins everywhere. And if you get stuck on one person, you die. This, my friends, is going to be an absolute mayhem.
What must be done?
The pick ban stage on stream. First ban, Soraka. I don't really understand that ban. It's an interesting ban. I don't think she's super overpowered.
I think she does very well in bottom lane, especially late game, just constantly healing. Especially like the top lane tanks who get like Spirit Visage, who can just go in, such as like Cyan. He can just ult into a giant wave of people, and Soraka can just be there healing him, and there's no one can deal that much damage in that amount of time sometimes. Soraka is pretty useful.
Cassiopeia ban, I fully understand that. Even though getting nerfed, she's still a very strong champion. Rengar also getting banned, looking at the assassins. Thresh coming through, good ban on the Thresh. Thresh, really strong support right now. Urgot getting banned in the top lane as well. With that being said, I'm very curious as to where Gladiators are going with these bans. Or get banned away from Teriyaki Boys. Aurelia first picked on the side of Gladiators. Again, Aurelia did really well. Into Fiora, though. Fiora and Aurelia is very equal based. Stat-wise, it's all a lot of skill. Fiora can counter the stun.
Another Nocturne coming in, taking away Bluxy's chance at getting a knock. He was right, though. He did go Sejuani.
He did get his Sejuani, as Karthus also gets picked for the mid lane. As Eviction making the last pick for Teriyaki Boys, and he's going to lock in the Orianna, looks like. He's hovering it at least. Does he lock it in? To stage 2 of bans, and so far, these teams look really, really good.
Lots of engage, lots of CC damage. There's just, you got the whole bunch here. It's just who's gonna.
Foolish child.
Xerath banned along with Lissandra. Jace getting banned. So far, you know, the Xerath for the late game wave clear, I understand. The Lissandra, overpowered mid lane off tank. You know, TF, good, strong mid laner. Jace, overall, just a strong champion. As Lucian, Braum, bot lane. What a pick for Gladiators.
This not be good for Kate bot lane. We're going to see who her support is here real quick.
As
hopefully Physics
ready to make their last pick.
There it is, Morgana.
And it looks like a Morgana, and that's not a lot of safety.
Well, here's the thing: is this is going to be a very, very close game with bottom lane, especially with Morgana. If Morgana hits her world-renowned root time, then Kate can just put an easy trap right under the feet of her enemy right as they get ready to escape, and then just another root and the damage on top of it. I don't know if Lucian will be able to survive if Braum is too low of HP to take the shot for him.
Braum shield, though, as long as Braum has mana, Lucian is safe. That's one thing I've noticed. For example, I had a Braum support the other day, and a Lux arrow or a Lux ult was coming for me, and he jumped in front of me and shielded with maybe 200 HP, and he took no damage, and I took no damage. And I was in chat thanking him for everything. But just like that, loading in, very interesting picks. Karthus with Exhaust and Orianna with Cleanse. This is very interesting. I don't quite understand the Exhaust pick for the Karthus, but you know, maybe he knows something I don't.
I think it's more geared towards the fact if someone ganks, then he's able to exhaust someone and slow him down.
And it could just be for that Nocturne or Fiora. So, just like that, guys, JP and I are going to take a quick break. We'll meet up with you on the Rift. Until then, enjoy the highlight video from last year. All games. Don't forget, we have other leagues. Monday is COD. Wednesday is StarCraft 2. Thursday is Rocket League, except for this week because of Valentine's Day. So, catch up with you guys back on the Rift.
But is it enough to really get into the heads of these players?
It was enough to save them from making a goal, but here comes Conjure getting into the goal. Brown, what a great shot! Even the clapping hands, nice. Stormy Inferno, like a puff of
30 seconds left. Sean, Dr. Dag gonna try to get the setup, but Coco is able to receive that in the air. But it's a shot!
amazing.
I cannot believe it.
They might be able to turn this around. Oh my goodness. The damage is coming in. The Scion coming in as well, but down goes Graves. Down goes Bard in the back. My mouth are able to take down Lissandra.
My God, what a beefy ultimate coming in from C Sentinel here. SLC God gonna try to take somebody down. 2 kills coming in for C Sentinel, but SLC God goes down as well. C Sentinel brought down low. Bobby's gonna try to do something to take her out, but it looks like we might actually get a first ace here. We might actually see a pentakill here. Come on, get the pentakill for C Sentinel. Do it for the stream. C Sentinel with the pentakill. Woo!
Pops it up. Ibot going freestyle. No way!
Heroes defense is looking pretty strong right now, but how long can they eventually conjure?
Oh,
Able to get the goal!
almost saved it. Watch how close. The angle that gets him, not the timing.
Somebody clip that.
Do you see where my finger is?
As we get into the loading screen, everybody, one thing I did notice is every member for Teriyaki Boys has Mastery 7 on the champs they are playing. JP, how do you feel that impacts this game?
I definitely think it shows they know exactly what they're doing, and even in unappreciable odds, even if it's a 1v2, 1v3, they still know what the best option is. It might not be looking so good for the other team as there is a lot of threats coming from them.
Overall, rune-wise, not a lot of surprises from anybody. Caitlyn has a lot of mastery points on herself. On Crash Cart has a, and by a lot, I mean
Crash Cart,
102,610 mastery points on Caitlyn. That is a lot of time playing Caitlyn.
Especially for an ADC, since there's a lot of them. But I actually have, I've seen more. I actually met a 1,250,000, believe it or not, cork. And he did very well. He knows exactly what he's doing. It was actually very surprising. But I'm like, out of all champions, you mained Corky, and that's all you played. So it was definitely interesting, but
Yeah, I believe the highest champion I have mastery points on is Master Yi, and I believe I have just under 700,000 on him. One of my friends is a Riven main and has 756,000 mastery points on Riven. So if I see him lock in Riven, I just figure we won.
Oh boy. My highest is about 160,000 on Science. Sadly, I don't know why they nerfed him in 9.3. He wasn't doing too much. I mean, he's still doing very strong. But
He just kind of won game at a certain point. It hit about the 25-30 minute mark, and he just won game because you couldn't kill him.
I've had instances of entire teams being AD, build randomans, deadmans, all the armor you need, and there's not a thing you can do. As we're finally getting to see the first picture of we're almost ready with game number 2.
Has all the champions loaded and everything.
Oh,
and suddenly the game is paused.
The ADC did not connect, and we're having a little bit of issues here. The ADC for the side of Teriyaki Boys did not manage to connect to the game for something.
No big deal. You know, things happen. Computer might have
got a little bit of time. It happens. A lot of League Line's been a bit buggy lately, but it's doing okay. We're just waiting for Kate to come back. So let's quickly talk about this. So Karthus and Orianna. We see Karthus starting off with a Doran's Ring and 2 potions, while Orianna is just going to go complete sustain with the corrupting potions. Now, neither of them brought damaging summoner spells. So, yes, Orianna has cleanse, but just to Karthus's slow in lane. So, I mean, the only thing she can really cleanse is hopefully she'll save it for when Sejuani ganks. When Sejuani ganks, that's my thought of when Karthus is going to use Exhaust to completely slow down Eviction, to slow him down even more with his Soul Wall. So I definitely think that have to look out for an early gank from Sejuani.
And it could be for the late game. Sejuani ult, Aurelia ult, Braum ult, one of the two. Could be an easy cleanse for that just so she can get out. And just again, for everybody recapping, game is paused. The ADC did not connect on the side of Teriyaki Boys. Crash Kurt didn't quite make it in. As soon as he gets in, we'll get this game underway. As of right now, though, I agree.
There we go.
You know that the Corrupting Potion is very interesting. First item for Orianna. It could be that it gave 75 mana over 12 seconds. You know, it could just be so she can stay in lane longer. She does have Minion Dematerializer, so it could just be so that she gets to be in lane that much longer.
I've seen a lot of people when I've seen a lot of people bring on the Corrupting Potion, and it just absolutely beats everyone else. So finally we have looks like a 4-man invade that are going right on top. Morgana might be in trouble here.
She does know that the ADC wasn't there, so Morgana flashes away.
Both support flashes are down right now.
As Morg decides, Morg backed. I don't think she lost any health, if any. So it's a very interesting ploy as we game starting to play out as gladiators have a ward deep inside the jungle on the side of Teriyaki Boys. Looks like both junglers are starting their respective reds. As Karth is able to get it down, a little bit of poke on the Orianna. Oh, that is 2 Qs that have...
Not to forget, if Karthus actually lands a Q on top of Orianna, that's 3 now. It does double the amount of damage due to the fact that the target is alone.
Yeah, and Orianna already half health, and we're not even 2 minutes into the game. As Morgana, interestingly enough, started cool instead of stun. That is not normally what you see.
I mean, I wouldn't blame her. It's a nice early damage, getting those minions low enough so Kate can instantly wave clear them. I mean, it's not a bad idea. But it's just the fact that if someone was to early go on top of them, I mean, maybe they know that Braum's flash is down, so they don't really need to worry about it, but it's just not, yeah, it's not typically normal. So now she most likely has.
I agree. She most likely took her stun second. And realizing this now, Lucian into Morgana. Lucian actually does really well into lanes with a Morgana support just because he can dash away so quickly from that stun.
Might see an early gank here from Sejuani right on top of Orianna. That slow wall coming down from Karthus, and just enough for them to get away with that Karthus Q. So there's that beginning gank. Both junglers are actually sitting the opposite sides of each other.
Each jungler took red Krugs and went to their respective Scuttle Crabs. That's crazy. Their clears are the exact same path, except Nocturne stayed topside, whereas Sejuani went straight for her blue buff.
I don't blame her. Sejuani does use a little bit of mana. She might be looking to go top lane, and Fiora has no idea that Sejuani is going to be coming behind. Waste of a reposit from her W. That might just be first blood. Good dash right on top of Fiora. Fiora does not get it. There's a flash coming from Sejuani. Sejuani does get the E off, but it's just not enough. I don't think that was very good use of flash, as Fiora did not flash away either.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I feel that was a wasted flash on the side of Sejuani. But right now, Caitlyn and Braum jumping in, ignites the Morgana as Lucian starts doing damage, and Sejuani returns top, goes for the gank, and Aurelia picks up first blood onto Fiora as bot lane is still fighting. As they
very
back
good
off. Sejuani returning for that gank again. Braum going in again, gets stunned up. Caitlyn black shielded. Braum ignited, heal down on Lucian. And Braum able to apparently limp away with his life.
Boom. Headshot.
And you have to wonder, with the ignite nerfs that came out either last patch or 2 patches ago, is it really worth it to carry it as a support anymore?
Not necessarily. I mean, Ignite still is good, don't get me wrong. It's just Exhaust might be a little bit better, not only because of the slow, but a lot of people don't understand that it actually does damage reduction too. It reduces 30% of the damage your opponent deals while they are exhausted. So I think it's actually a higher threat to have Exhaust than Ignite. I mean, yes, Exhaust did get a little bit nerfed with the damage, but I mean the cooldown is the same as Barrier now. So an easy counter is, I mean, just like Cleanse like Orianna has, or maybe a Barrier. But definitely, I think Exhaust needs a little bit more attention.
as Fiora pokes down Aurelia. Aurelia starting to clear minions. Aurelia taken low. Sejuani on the bot side. Looks like she's just going to go for her Krugs instead of going for a gank. And maybe the reason behind starting full is because Morgana has Comet. And that could be why, just for the early Comet damage, because you see a lot of times Comet picks up the kill for you every now and then.
I know that's happened to me a couple times. It's a Comet out of nowhere.
It's definitely happened to me as Caitlyn and Morgana pushed in to tower. Morgana misses stun, and overall just looks like everybody's just farming it out.
Nice relaxing
Lucian
game,
taking
except
low.
for top lane just a
top
little
lane,
bit.
Top lane skirmish. Oh, maybe not.
Fiora and Aurelia are just trading just so even. But, I mean, yes, Fiora, I mean, almost, I was about to say she had the farm advantage, not much anymore. But because of that first blood, Aurelia is just barely ahead of her.
Fiora, unluckily, doesn't have teleport, whereas Aurelia backed and has teleport and is teleporting the lane, picked up armor boots.
Very, very smart buy by her, getting a full item of boots, get that full movement speed on top of Fiora, as Fiora has lots of dashes to go around. There we go. Nice ultimate by Aurelia. Ultimate from Fiora.
And Aurelia picks up the ult. Fiora tried to parry it, but just wasn't enough. She was too low of health. And that is a 2-0 Aurelia already. And you gotta think, you know, he just got done playing an Aurelia game. Maybe you should have banned it.
Especially with how we saw he fought. I mean, he did get those early ganks, don't get me wrong, but then after that, he just scouted on his own. He knows what he's doing with Aurelia. And especially now that Fiora is down just a little bit. Fiora does do well in top lane. It's just an Aurelia who's already ahead. It's just not something you want to see. We have Orianna kind of roaming in the jungle here, trying to get to bot lane, coming in behind. This might be a nasty ultimate coming from... We have a multiple ultimates in bottom lane. Nocturne gets ulted in. Braum ults over it. We got multiple Karthus is ulting everyone. Dark Harvest coming in from everywhere. That might be a dead Kate, but we have Braum getting that. We have a stun coming off. We have Orianna ultimates, and that does not end well for Gladiator. That is a 3 for nothing.
3 kills for nothing. There was so much going on in that fight.
So close to getting so many kills. Gladiators almost turned that around, but it was just not enough. The Karthus wanted to help, but his ultimate does not do enough yet, as he does not have any ability power except for a Doran's Ring. So
As
let me
two
ask you a
plates
quick
fall on the
question.
bottom tower. Yep,
What just happened? We saw Nocturne ultimate. We saw an Orianna beautifully coming in from behind. So we got 4 ultimates for basically 4 ultimates down the bottom lane, and it was just absolute madness. Who? I mean, I know we obviously saw Teriyaki come out 3-0 for those kills, but what went wrong?
What went wrong was Seji ulted blindly and hit it, but the team couldn't follow up because of the Nocturne ult. Nocturne jumped right onto Sejuani, and Lucian dashed away from the fear, luckily, but you know, overall, it was a 4v2. And there's not... It was a 4v3, sorry. And there's not much you can do into that. Like, Seji not knowing Nocturne was there. Seji had a great gank pattern. She was hidden in bush. No one knew she was there. She ulted perfectly. Just Nocturne was there to counter it even better. And that's it. I wouldn't say it was an outplay. I think, honestly, it was a lucky play that Nocturne was there. If Nocturne wasn't there, that doesn't go the way of Teriyaki bullets.
Agreed. Without that Nocturne being right in the back there and barely having that ult range, I definitely think Kate and Morgana were going to fall.
And what you have to wonder is Karth has picked up 2 Dark Harvest stacks on that ult. You have to wonder, yeah, Orianna picked up the kill, but Karth has picked up 2 Dark Harvest stacks, and late game Dark Harvest wins. So you have to wonder, who did that really benefit? Did it benefit the Orianna or the Karthus?
I think we see Nocturne looking for Infernal Dragon again. I think Gladiators has a bit of a hint on that.
There is a ward, and the control ward isn't there to block that vision, and Lucian ult's almost blocking almost stealing the dragon as Fiora starting to be able to trade with the Aurelia. What I'm waiting for in this bot lane is for Morgana to hit a snare and Kate to instantly trap headshot whoever gets snared.
Other than that, it's just been quite a calm game. We see a lot of 1s and 0s. Oh, we have a Nocturne ult right on top of the bottom lane, right as Sejuani is there too. That will be a death. That will be more Karthus ultimates, and Sejuani flashes and gets another ultimate off. That will be a nice trap from Kate, but it's just not enough for Kate to die for. And Sejuani does not take the bullet. That is a beautiful thing. Karthus did get a shutdown on Orianna due to that ultimate. So now Karthus is sitting at a bit higher of Dark Harvest, but that just turned in Gladiator's favor.
He only picked up 1 Dark Harvest stack for that, but he picked up the kill as well, and that should put him ahead. He has... Interestingly, I didn't realize that Orianna backed and bought a Dark Seal, actually, at some point. I missed that one, but that's an interesting buy. As Sejuani takes her red buff and starts to roam around. And last game we didn't see a lot of vision, but I don't know if you've noticed, JP, above the blue side red buff, there is...
Hold on, we have a little fight in top lane. We have Fiora. Oh, what did you do? She wasted her reposit, or whatever you want to call her, W, the thing that completely blocks all damage and stuns. It's just, she used it so early. I really didn't even throw down her stun yet. She was a little bit impatient, and that just immediately cost her life. So this Irelia is now a major threat to the rest of Teriyaki Boys. Okay, tell me this. What is going to happen the moment Irelia starts roaming? Especially with that Rift Herald.
As soon as Aurelia starts roaming, this game's over. If they can't find a way to shut down Aurelia, that's game. Hands down, that will be game. The best answer for it right now is Caitlyn's 2-0, right? She has a full Infinity Edge build. As soon as she gets Rapid Fire Cannon, if she goes that route, I think you swap the Fiora with the Morgana and Caitlyn. And try to 2v1 the Aurelia, because I think Caitlyn has the damage and Morgana has the CC that they can shut her down. And I think that's the best answer for the Aurelia.
Oh, we have multiple fights going on. We have a dead Karthus in middle, but we do have a heal and multiple flashes coming up from bottom lane. We have ultimates coming in, and Caitlyn's going to die for that. We have Fiora teleporting in bottom as long as Aurelia's going to get the... Oh, nice stopwatch coming from Morgana, but Morgana is still going to pay the price for that. It might also be that is going to be a Braum death here. Ash did not favor Glad. Actually, there's Aurelia still getting these kills, so now she is 5-0. That is not a good thing to see.
And that is 3 kills down for
first turret going over to Teriyaki. Oh
first
boy, so
place of 3 kills. And you have to wonder, was it worth it? You know, first tower, only down 400 gold at this point, 300 or so. But, you know, Aurelia's 5-0. And Caitlyn, yeah, before she died, she picked up the kill on the Lucian. And Lucian, now that he has Bork, is, you know, almost almost starting to do damage. But if, you know, you can't shut down this Aurelia, that is your game winner. That is your win. That's your win condition. You have to shut down the Aurelia. And if he can't manage to do that, then you might as well just accept it now. You have to team fight. It looks like a 4-man bot lane here.
4-man bot lane getting that Rift Herald off, hopefully looking for a turret push and maybe getting that dragon.
And with turret plating gone, that tower is going to be left to almost nothing as the 4 of them sweep down. And Fiora split pushing. She should be able to take that top tower in response, but Rift Herald's still doing work.
I had Rift Herald glitch on my side. That was weird.
I was looking top to watch this tower fall. So that
boy.
will be
So
tower
top's
for
gone,
tower.
So Teriyaki is still ahead in towers. They are about 1,000 up in gold now. So they do have the items. It's just Irelia, now that Irelia has an Earth Dragon too, she's going to become a major threat to a lot of the turrets. Nocturne's actually ulting to get away.
That's very interesting because you don't fly anywhere unless you target somebody. So that's very, very interesting as we have a 4v3 in mid lane.
I think he may have just ulted that A to get. Oh, that might be a Karthus. That is a great Braum ultimate coming right on top, and Morgana did not get the spell shield off. So that will be a dead Cade.
And yes, they're up in kills, and they have a fed Irelia and a fed Karthus now, but at some point, kills don't matter. Kills don't win games. Towers win games.
We'll
so yeah, you're winning these skirmishes, but you're not getting anything out of it other than the gold. You're not taking towers, you're not getting drags or objectives, really. Overall, the best team play I've seen is that 4-man bot lane with the Rift Summon. You know, you got a tower out of it. It's the only tower you've taken all game. Other than that, you're just trying to farm your way to victory, and it's not going to work.
Already pulling off a great stun right on top of Fiora, and Fiora's not gonna. Oh, she actually did manage to get away.
I think Aurelia just let it go. You know, she said, you know, you can survive this time. I'm just gonna farm and push into you because you have to back. I can get more out of this if I don't kill you. Because by killing Fiora, the rest of the team realizes, okay, we gotta go bot. And that Aurelia split push coming in strong right now. She's about to take this tower.
With that, she has Demolish, and she has that new Earth Dragon. And look, there's a second one coming up here. So we have possibly 2 Earth Dragons, or Mountain Dragons, or whatever you want to call that one, based on preference. Aurelia is going to become a major threat. Another stun right on top of Fiora. Fiora is not looking very good at repositioning those stuns, and it's
like
just her.
And Aurelia just gonna
absolute
power push his
obliterate.
bot lane. A little bit of a useless ult there on the side of Aurelia, but this bot lane is gonna just die as Morgan Kate slowly come over, but Nocturne ults in onto the Aurelia. They're focusing everything on her, and she still lives. And there's a shutdown as Nocturne dies for it. And can Sejuani pick up all 3? And Kate barely walks away with her life, but gets the huge Nocturne gets a huge shutdown on Aurelia. Whereas now Sejuani has a bounty with picking up 2 kills there. She's now 3-2. Karth is still 3-1.
I'm thinking they are doing a very, very nice job of 3-2 split pushing here. They put 2 of their high threats pushing bottom lane. They easily soloed out the Fiora, and then all of a sudden you had the other people who had to come and respond. Otherwise, they were going to lose an inhibitor turret. But because of that, the other 3, namely Karthus, Lucian, and Braum, were able to push mid lane. So now, not only is Gladiators ahead in gold, but they are ahead in objective.
I think they're listening to me. They heard me.
They heard something about it. They're hearing the plan.
You don't see a whole lot of deep vision for either team, other than a couple wards by Baron Pit on the side of Gladiators. But
there's not a lot that you can do for deep vision right now, in my opinion. I mean, you can try, but you're risking threatening your own life here, because every kill is starting to mean something even greater here. I mean, Nocturne finally has his Guardian Angel, so if he goes down in a fight, he can just stall, and so the rest of his team will be alone without him for a couple.
right, and if you notice, Aurelia still has 2 control wards in her inventory, and actually every member of Gladiators have a control ward except for Sejuani, who just placed hers at Baron Pit. Only one control ward in the inventory on the side of Teriyaki Boys. And they only have, let's see, I don't think they have any control wards even on the map.
Ooh, how about this?
Oh,
Spear of Shojin.
Kate.
Oh, that is a dead.
Oh, that's a dead Kate.
Look at the damage off of that Karthus.
Damage. Aurelia picks up 2 kills. It looks like she's gonna let it go. Karthus looking for this. Orianna didn't lose much health. Orianna blew ult. Karthus starting to push. Wall comes out. Karthus about to lose his life. Maybe.
We
got the Dark Harvest stack. That's an Aurelia
teleporting top to defend right on top of Nocturne. Aurelia had way too low of HP. Why she went in. Karthus flashed and did not even get. Orianna with the so close, but
so
Karthus
close
still
to dodging. But Aurelia, I agree. The teleport there on the side of Aurelia was highly questionable.
With that low of HP, why would
and teleport?
So did she just give away? Yeah. So Orianna just got 1,100 gold for killing both Aurelia and Karthus.
2 shutdowns.
That helps put them back in the game.
And Orianna
a lot of the
starting
gold.
Orianna's slowly starting to get fed as she's now 4-2. Kate's still 4-3, but everybody else on the side of Teriyaki Boy's not doing so well.
This is just it's turning left and right. I'm telling you, the fights are back and forth. It's getting a close game. I mean, both teams have some objectives, some teams have others. I mean, so now we're seeing another. So we have 2 Mountain Dragons over to the side of Gladiators, and that's gonna say a lot for their split pushing possibilities. With Aurelia, the high damage threat of a roam, and she can easily possibly pick out Fiora here if she's not careful.
I agree. And one thing that with the new patch coming out, if Caitlyn gets a rapid fire cannon, she actually outranges turrets. Caitlyn having one of the highest ranges for ADCs with rapid fire cannon and the new Infinity Edge. If she gets rapid fire cannon and Storm Razor, she outranges turrets. And so that is crucial. You could just stand out of turret range and sit there and poke down turrets. You don't need minions. You can just go wherever you want, take whatever you want.
This is definitely going to be interesting as we see a lot. The fights have pretty much stopped because everyone knows now that if anyone gives up a kill, objectives will be lost. Everything's kind of revolving around Baron Pit. You see wards constantly being placed and constantly torn down. It's going to be a threat of who is going to give up the kill and who is going to get the Baron.
And
see a lot of Gladiators top lane.
They could just be trying to power push for this tower, and your Teriyaki Boys, do you just let it fall? Because that's a Lucian ult as well, and Orianna able to walk away. She flashes as Morgana and Caitlyn are there as well to back it up. Fiora just sitting under bot inhib turret just to defend it. She knows she can't go out very far as Baron gets started just to back them off of that control ward. And that's a very strategic play, very smart strategic play.
This is going to get very close. Everyone's just kind of hovering over there with, look at all of the ward. Wards everywhere. It's Ward City. Everyone just needs that vision. There was another ward that got placed down. I mean, As soon as a ward gets taken down, it gets replaced. Aurelia is getting oh my god, a beautiful stopwatch by Aurelia. I don't think that would have killed Aurelia, maybe not, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm doubting the Kate damage.
As Oriana kills Karthus in the middle of all that as well.
Oriana's so low of HP, and
he's might. Yep, there it is. Oriana falls.
I don't think there's any hope for her. She wasted flash a little bit too earlier, and that might be Baron if Morgana she's still hanging around. Like I said, this is they traded 2 for 2, so it's close. It's like I said, every kill is going to start giving objectives, and those objectives are going to win the game. No one wants to fight right now because no one wants to lose their life because they know it could cost the entirety of the game.
It looks like top tower is finally going to fall. But again, we see wards all over the place as Fiora finally able to farm a little bit. She's not down very much in farm, but in kills, she's getting demolished.
Not to mention, she's down over 3,000 gold. And now, Teriyaki is going to want this Infernal Dragon, so it's going to be 2 Infernals to 2 Mountain. We do have an engage. We have a 5-man coming down for the 4-man of Teriyaki. I don't think Oriana is too far away to get it into this.
Yeah, Oriana unfortunately will not be there.
Pushing them away.
Says this is our drag, you back off it. And now they look for the chase. Morgana way too low to stay and fight. Aurelia ults 3 of them. Sejuani ult comes in as well. Lucian ult at the end. And that's a GA popped on the side of... Oh wow, so much going on in this fight. That is 4 members dead and Oriana there as the rest of the team starts to chase this Oriana. Aurelia chasing the Oriana. Oriana uses cleanse. Oriana still trying to run away. And that is an ace on the side of
Gladiators. Looking to do as much damage as they can. Oh man, that did not end well. I don't think Fiora knows exactly what she's doing. I agree. I mean, you feed an Aurelia top, you feed a Sejuani, especially... I mean, you saw the Karthus ultimate just melt everyone. This will be looking for Gladiator's game here. Braum just throwing up a shield, and that will be 2 for 0 in this night.
Yeah, Gladiator boys. Gladiator just snowballing down with that huge lead by the Aurelia over the Fiora.
Definitely interesting, especially if we look at the graphs here. I mean, Fiora did some damage, yes, but I mean, Nocturne didn't do a lot either. He's not as able to gank as much. I mean, Nocturne's a good jungle, don't get me wrong. It's just, he's not as strong. A lot of the games is starting to revolve around early game, and Sejuani is able to provide that with that level 2 gank or level 3 gank, and just absolutely freeze someone in place, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, clearly the damage shows what Karthus and Aurelia did.
Computer slowly trying to load the
Quick shout out to Clark Kempf for the follow. Thank you for following the League Esports alt. Make sure to go follow the main channel and stick around for tomorrow's game of StarCraft.
Yeah,
but yeah,
Karthus and Aurelia hands down carrying this game through everything. Lucian did a lot of damage, but overall, Kate won that lane. Real quick, let's try to get the Aurelia in here for an interview if that's possible, if he's still around. Let's try to get Lord Dreth in here for a quick interview. if you're listening. Hopefully you're listening. JP, give me a quick rundown of what happened throughout that game.
All right, so sorry, I had to click off. A lot happened. Like I said, it was trades. There was trades of kills, trades back and forth. Someone had the lead, then someone else had the lead. It came down to the fact that they did not have an engaging top laner. The fact that I don't really think Fiora knew exactly what she was doing and that her W could counter stuns. She never really seemed to pop it up at the right time against Irelia's stun, and that just failed to completely let her go for that. So I believe we have him in here. Yes, we do.
It's your boy.
It's your
Your
boy.
boy's back.
Hi.
So, first question. What happened? Why did the Fiora really seem to not know what she was doing with blocking your...
So if you recall, the recent changes to Fiora actually buffed her heavily in some matchups. This just happens to be one of the matchups in which she was heavily buffed. Unless Fiora plays absolutely perfectly from basically any level past level 4, she auto loses the matchup solely because Irelia just gets too many stats from her passive at that point. And if you can force her, like for example, Sejuani, Bluxy, I love my boy Bluxy, fantastic jungler, ganks me, gets me a kill, and at that point the lane was pretty much over solely because I have just enough damage to kill her regardless of whether or not she W's. So really the lane doesn't come down to whether or not she presses W, it comes down solely to how Irelia presses E. And I just happen to press it really, really well.
Yeah, overall, you guys just snowballed really hard. Yeah, Caitlyn got some kills and Oriana got some kills, but the 6 kills on the Karthus, running Dark Harvest, and the 9 kills on the Aurelia, you guys just team fought really well and split pushed harder.
Yeah, in competitive play, it's really, really scary to have a skill matchup top lane and have one player get slightly farther ahead and then just kind of snowball out of control and pretty much make it so it renders side lanes completely useless, essentially. And on top of that, with the Karthus, it doesn't really matter what they pick into Karthus, so long as Karthus just doesn't die, and they didn't pick an aggressive enough mid laner to deal with Karthus. So we pretty much just had full map control from champion select, especially with the stronger jungle pick in terms of meta. So we auto win almost anything as long as Fiora isn't, insanely popping off, or as long as Caitlyn isn't insanely popping off, which I think bot lane did a fantastic job with.
All right, JP, got any questions for him real quick?
During the entire bot lane issue, that was the first 3-0 trade your guys actually lost. You lost both of your bot lanes, and you lost Karthus, I believe, or one of them. What was going through your mind at the time? Were you afraid that something bad was going to come out of Kate getting fed?
Partially just because Caitlyn... The issue with Caitlyn is she has this kind of, not snowball effect. Caitlyn isn't someone you need to really worry about getting kills on as long as there's not a certain threshold reached. So she needs her 2 or 3 item power spike, and that's something that she desperately needs. And for that reason, she's horrible in the mid game. She's one of the worst mid lane or mid game champions as far as ADCs go. So giving her 2 or 3 kills in the early, I don't really think that matters so long as top or mid lane is doing perfectly fine, and I trust 100% Swifty and Hero to basically cut losses and play the rest of the matchup perfectly fine and really safe, and they did. But the exact thought that was running through my mind was, I'm 2-0 top lane, we're playing around top lane now, we're not playing around bot side anymore, because that was the original plan. So we just switched to top side control. I killed Fiora, and then we got the Rift Herald, and then we tried to break open some towers and played to side lane split push over playing to brute force from ADC.
Okay, and you guys are playing really well together, playing really well as a team, playing really well individually. One thing I want to point out to you, and maybe you guys just haven't realized it, maybe you did and you just didn't really think twice about it, but Caitlyn, like you said, late game champ. Early and mid game, not so great, but still a good champ overall. when it comes to late game, if you have rapid fire cannon with Storm Razor, you actually outrange turrets. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah. She's
And
one
so
of the two
if
champions in the game that can do that, or 3.
I believe it's Caitlyn and
Kindred.
Kog'Maw
Tristana.
and Tristana can.
Yeah, Kindred, Tristana. I guess maybe Kog'Maw, yeah.
Yeah, Kog'Maw with his W, his range hits 900, which is ridiculous. So,
Fun champion.
yeah. So, thanks for the interview, ya boy. Appreciate it, man. Good luck next week.
Good casting. Thank you.
Thanks, man. All right, we're gonna hop into this next game real
see you.
quick.
Good luck.
See ya.
Surprise camera from someone else.
I was not expecting that camera.
All right.
As we get into this next game, looking at the matchup, we have Eclipse Fury versus Novasphere Gaming. Last week, Novasphere Gaming won their game against Spew, looking rather dominant. It was very one-sided. Eclipse Fury 0-4 so far, not looking as dominant as they did in preseason. What do you think's going to take? These teams are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with every evenly matched game, it's just so hard to determine what exactly is going to need to be done in order to actually win the game.
I think the game's going to come down to jungle presence along
Left,
with...
can you quickly move out of the spectators, or move in just...
And then hopefully you guys will stop just reading our Discord, our producer, laughing because his face came on camera for us.
Everyone's giving me stuff in the... Oh my god. I swear, these people sometimes... Oh, it's great. It's. I'm telling you, this is a great place.
All right. And one thing last game we talked about mastery points, and Transpike actually has on Pantheon.
Yeah, at Pantheon. We've talked about this every week, and we will not stop talking about this. This guy will be focused down every day on Tuesday for Pantheon. We will never see a Transpike Pantheon. And at the moment
when
we
you're
do,
one trick.
I mean, obviously when you're one trick, yeah, we won't see it. But I mean, it's just, it's not something you want to deal with.
Yeah, nobody wants to deal with a one trick. Like, for example, that Riven. Nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants to go into that. But sometimes you just have to. So, looks like everybody's ready.
Just don't even look at the chat.
You just don't look at chat. You don't want to know.
I can't take it seriously.
Transpike just said in chat, I'm actually garbage on Panth. I don't know why everybody talks about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. First ban coming from...
Transpike, if you can hear me, I want you to play Pantheon if it's not banned.
Novasphere Gaming, here comes first ban for Pantheon. Here it comes, instant ban Pantheon.
All right, Lissandra getting banned right away. And that overall is a good ban. Lissandra is a tough champ to go into either top or mid. So first ban actually on the side of Novasphere is Zinzao. Maybe they're not Scare.
Good Yasuo ban. I respect it. He's a strong champ.
Yeah. Get rid of the cancerous champion that no one enjoys. We've all had a Yasuo in solo queue that either feeds or just goes ham, and you never can tell which one it's going to be until it happens. So
Oriana, they don't want to see... Okay, This happened last year, and you saw it on the highlight video. Mage Seeker got a pentakill with Orianna, and he is a high threat with Orianna, so it's just not something you want to see. So Transpike go ahead and banning a top laner of Tryndamere. Will Clark Kemp ban Pantheon, and will Transpike actually get his Pantheon for the first time?
I want
There it
Pantheon. There it is. All right. Well, everybody can sleep easy now. Transpike
They
didn't
wanted to get his
Sadly,
they
he
wanted to
didn't
get
get
his
to play
hopes up. Yeah, they wanted to get his hopes up, and then just.
All right, as Transpike gets ready to lock in his first pick, let's see what happens.
Locking in the Lucian.
Lucian gets locked in. I'm really surprised we're not seeing the crit champs come into play.
I mean, Lucian, don't get me wrong, is still a very, even with that, he doesn't need the crit items. He just does so much with the passive and the movement, so you can just keep up with anyone. And I don't know if Ezreal's a good pick to go against the Lucian. Lucian completely takes over Ezreal.
You see it a lot in pro play, honestly. Lucian
There
wins
comes
the
another
early
Sejuani.
game. Lucian wins the early game, but Ezreal just scales so hard late. Ezreal's one of those champs that once he gets his items, once Ezreal comes online, he does insane amount of damage to champions. And especially with a Sejuani, that's a lockdown. That's a free ult for the Ezreal. So let's see who Night Hunter Rook will lock in for. Picking up Vi, one of my old mains. Very interesting to see played here into a Sejuani. Vi loses that trade very, very hard. And so we will we'll see what happens with it.
The moment I started playing League was the only reason why I know where I started was Vi. When I started playing, Vi was the character that was out. The new. So that's, my friend, is a long time ago. Leona picking
Leona
for
getting
Lucian.
picked.
Leona.
The CC train looks like it's starting to come out. Let's see if
Cyrus
Novasphere Gaming
or maybe Thresh.
Ooh.
Switching.
Thresh
is good. Thresh is absolutely annoying.
Thresh is good, but with Leona, as soon as you hook him, she's just gonna
right back to Zyra.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna want more of a poke support into Leona, because if you pull Leona, she's just gonna jump on your face. That's what Leona does. She sits there, face tanks, and you can't move. So, as the Zoe ban comes through, afraid of Mage Seeker on that. I'm wondering if we're going to see a LeBlanc ban as well.
There's an Ari ban for that one. We're waiting to see their mid laners and top laners. These are going to be the final picks of a stressful mid and top.
Are you certain?
You were right. There it is.
Can I get an applause in the chat? I called that blindly. I feel I did well. I could be wrong, but I feel I did all right. And the Urgot is the last ban on the side of Eclipse Fury. Very interested to see what laner they're going to pick. Are they going to pick their mid laner or top laner? Do you trust a dude to counter pick Mage Seeker?
There's their Shen. So I don't know whether I would think they would want to pick their mid laner first, because top lane, we've seen top laners basically win the game for the past two of them, with Irelia absolutely destroying it. Will there be another Irelia this game?
Another Aurelia carry?
Jarvan.
Jarvan, as well as a Vi on that team. You have to wonder which one's going into the jungle. I'm assuming the other laner is top. And Mage Seeker looks like she's going to be playing Syndra. That's a very scary lane.
I think it's definitely going to have to be Vi jungle. Vi doesn't really ever go top. Jarvan does very well top, though. Especially because Jarvan doesn't need a lot of basic attacks. He has a lot in his kit to move around and do damage. So Shen, yes, he hurts, but I think Jarvan will be able to take, especially when it comes to team fights.
And looks like a Ryze is going to be locked in for the split push Ryze. Overall, the better team fight comp is on the side of Eclipse Fury, but the split push side for Novasphere Gaming is rather strong. So we'll see what happens with that. as everybody gets situated. It is a Jarvan top. Syndra hovering cleanse at the moment. Rise taking ignite. So that cleanse is probably a good pick with the ignite. Both supports running exhaust. So we will have to see. This mid lane is going to be very interesting with both champs being very very late game, just one shot you moments. So
I mean, yeah, they have there's a lot of CC. It's just there's a lot of CC coming from
both teams,
Novasphere.
really.
Yeah, especially I'm leaning towards Novasphere because I mean they have a Shen taunt, Sejuani freeze and ultimate. They have a Rise point and click route. They have Zyra's route and ultimate. I mean, I just think there's a lot more coming from Novasphere.
Overall, I think Eclipse Fury has a single solo takedowns. They have the easy picks, with if Vi and J4 team up really well. J4 ult into Vi ult, you can't move. You're just stuck in one spot, and everybody's dealing damage to you. And with the Leona there, along with the Lucian, they don't have a lot of AoE damage, but they have the damage there. Whereas, Rise can do damage to multiple people, and Sejuani can, and Zyra and Ezreal. It looks like it's going to be mostly a poke down comp into a more tankier comp with the two bruisers, but bruisers into tanks. Tanks usually come out okay, but we'll have to see. It looks like there's going to be a lot of damage on the side of Eclipse Fury and a lot of tank on the side of Novasphere Gaming. So we will have to see. JP, any last words before we go into break?
I'm excited.
I am as well. We'll see you guys into the Rift. Don't forget, Monday nights we have Call of Duty. Tuesdays is the game you're watching right now, League of Legends. Wednesday is StarCraft 2, and Thursdays is Rocket League. This week, because of Valentine's Day, we won't be having Rocket League, but we'll catch up with it next week. Right. Enjoy this highlight clip as JP and I take a quick breather. See you on the Rift.
But is it enough to really get into the head of these players?
It was enough to save them from making a goal, but here comes Conjure getting into the goal. Brown, what a great shot! Even the clapping hands, nice. Stormy Inferno, like a puppet.
30 seconds left, Sean. Dr. Dag gonna try to get the setup, but Coco is able to receive that in the air. But it's a shot!
I cannot believe it.
They might be able to turn this around. Oh my goodness! The damage is coming in. The Scion coming in as well, but down goes Graves. Down goes Bard in the back. My mouth are able to take down Lissandra.
Oh my god, what a beefy ultimate coming in from C Sentinel here. SLC God gonna try to take somebody down. 2 kills coming in for C Sentinel, but SLC God goes down as well. C Sentinel brought down low. Bobby's gonna try to shoot something to take her out, but it looks like we might actually get a first ace here. We might actually see a pentakill here. Come on, get the pentakill for C Sentinel. Do it for the stream. C Sentinel with the pentakill. Woo!
Coco pops it up. Ibot going freestyle.
No way!
Hero's defense is looking pretty strong right now, but how long can they eventually conjure?
Oh,
no! Get the goal!
Almost saved it. Watch how close. The angle that gets him, not the timing.
Somebody clip that.
All right, we load in, we see that Jarvan has Dark. And this top lane matchup is going to be very, very interesting. Transpike has just under 400,000 mastery points, as Shen has just over 115,000 mastery points. Both have mastery 7 on their respective champs, so top lane is going to be very, very interesting. as well as the bot lane. The Zyra has Mastery 7, as does the entire bot lane on the side of Eclipse Fury. So we'll just have to see what happens here. As we see what the map will look like. Team slowly loading in.
I think this loading time was just a bit faster than...
Yeah, I think so too. First thing we see is Shen Sword.
Yep.
As the
Sejuani
champion
has the
loaded.
pig skin. How cute.
All right, you're the pig. All right.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh
Okay.
god.
Okay. All right. Surprisingly enough, Ezreal is running Minion Dematerializer along with Klepto, which is normal for Ezreal. But normally you don't see the Minion Dematerializer or market on. So we'll see if that plays well. Leona
Ooh,
also...
They might be going for a 5-man invade.
And they very well could. Ezreal's on the closest side to that. And he's very hidden in... He's hidden in Drag Pit, so they might not see him, but they're probably going to go for a late invade. So they know Ezreal is there, as he warded that. And Ezreal luckily guesses that they are in that bush and pokes out the Vi, as they are having to walk out. I honestly don't think Ezreal had any idea. They scattered. They said,
I mean,
"Okay,
most
no,
of the
somehow."
time, if they're not in that bush and someone's in the bottom bush, I think it's pretty common for an Ezreal just to check. I mean, it doesn't cost that much mana for that ability, and you get a little. I mean, for God's sake, he got a mana potion.
That's true. And Ezreal
I remember
does-
when those things existed, like to buy instead of health potions. Like no one would buy health potions; you just all buy.
As both junglers start on the bot side, and we get underway here. 2 wards already placed on the side of Novasphere, along with no wards in the river for Eclipse Fury. Then that might come back to haunt him, as Syndra gets a little bit of poke down onto the Rise. J4 pokes down the Shen as well. Vi pathing very, very weirdly, going from red buff to chickens over to wolves. That's a very interesting clear path, as Sejuani takes blue buff into Gromp into Scuttle Crab, and J4 with the early level 2 engage here. And Vi going for that topside Scuttle Crab as Sejuani slowly roams up. Both junglers are level 2. Actually, everybody in the game is level 2. Not a lot happening at the moment, so...
Jarvan's really looking to try to get that early damage, but Shen is just healing a lot of it up just by one single health potion. I think Jarvan wants to get some of those Dark Harvest stacks. Beautiful stun by Syndra in the mid lane. Get a little bit of damage on them. Sejuani completely invading the jungle. I mean, sorry, I just thought she was on the wrong side. What the heck?
Sejuani taking her red buff.
Her red buff, not invading. She will be looking to go top lane, and Vi might too. Might have an early engager from Sejuani going right on top of Jarvan, as Jarvan has no wards in the river and has no idea this is about to... Shen
not close
disengaged
enough.
with- Look at this, Vi is already there, and Shen took way too long to get... Getting that massive damage and knockup. That will be double flashes coming out from both Sejuani and Vi. Vi will not get a first blood, and Sejuani calling it a big close. I don't know why Shen backed off there.
Yeah, very interesting. The Shen backed away for no reason. He decided that his CS was more important than that early kill. And Leona getting poked down to 3/4 health, and Lucian dashing into the Ezreal, dodges the snare, continues pushing. Both gonna walk away.
And first blood goes to the right. Vi completely behind the line.
Rise outplays the Vi, as Vi thought she wouldn't be in tower range going for that. Snare hits
But
onto
Leona
the Leona. Leona
did get-
snares the Ezreal. Ezreal low. And the Leona Ignite kills the Ezreal as Lucian pokes him down. And that is one trade
And
for one. Rise has an
Ezreal
early blue
did,
buff
yeah.
here.
Oh, he did get the blue buff from Vi. That's not going to be good for Sejuani maybe a little bit later, especially because he got first blood. So he is ahead by 200 gold. One quick thing I want to mention here is, yeah, Leona burnt Ignite, but Ezreal tried to use heal, but it did not do enough because Ignite put suppression on the fact of you trying to heal, so it did not heal him that much. Therefore, Ignite killed him. So that might not end well for the next thing.
Shen half health, pushing rather aggressively into the J4 as he finally backs off to back. And already there's a total of 6 control wards bought on the side of Novasphere Gaming, whereas only 3 are purchased for the Eclipse Fury. Eclipse Fury with a 5k gold lead. This is a very close game, probably the closest game we'll see this week.
500, not 5k.
Sorry,
Quick
500.
mention. Yeah, I was about to say, wait a minute, 5k.
Numbers are hard. I apologize.
Numbers are very hard. I don't like them, but I have to.
Yeah. Numbers hate me. It's okay.
I've seen massive gold leads. I've seen teams from 10,000 gold, and I think from that deficit, there's not much you can really do if you are 10,000 gold behind.
I
That
agree,
means,
but you
yeah.
know, at the end of the day, gold leads don't matter. Kills don't matter. If you win one team fight late enough in the game and you have enough pushing pressure, you can just win the game.
I've had big comebacks. I believe it. It's possible. Ooh, a beautiful root coming onto it.
Q unluckily doesn't land for Ezreal as they start to clear wards out. 4 control wards placed on the side of Novasphere Gaming, whereas only 2 are in play for Eclipse Fury.
Does not get the spot off on Sejuani. They did not get the blast, not the blast cone, the sight cone. They did not see Sejuani, so they actually do not have sight of.
No deep wards.
Another
placed yet.
blue buff going over possibly Rise.
Yep, looks like Rise will take another blue buff. Sejuani.
I mean, wait, hold on. Here, look at this. The level difference between junglers and mid lane and top laners. They're 3 levels separate. Junglers do not have ultimates yet.
Bot lane does not have ultimates either, and Sejuani rather far behind. Vi finally has a level on her taking Krugs, and part of that is Sejuani hasn't taken Krugs yet, and Krugs give the most XP for jungle camps, and so that's really rough, especially as Sejuani. Taking Krugs is such a long clear that a lot of junglers forego it when it's really crucial to do because it is so much XP.
Night Hunter Rook is waiting patiently in the book. Beautiful flash by Zyra, though. Otherwise, that might not have ended well.
I agree entirely. Great flash. Sejuani roaming around mid. Sees that there's a lot of she places a lot of visions at the jungle. Places a control ward at the jungle entrance, but we'll see.
Night Hunter Rook scared the dragon.
As Syndra gets a stun off on the Rise. Backs away. J4 going for an all-in here on Shen.
Boy. Multiple engages all over the map.
Shen
okay,
able
no, just bottom lane.
Vi bot lane now. Vi looks for an engage, clears out the plant, and looks to back off.
I might be looking for dragon now.
That is a good possibility. It is Mountain Drake. That will help them take towers a lot faster. She could be roaming mid as well. Seji more on the top side of the map. As J4 starts to clear, realizes there's a control ward in the tri-bush top side and decides to clear it. and Vi has a lot of deep vision in the bottom side jungle. And that's going to come into play very, very quickly, as Vi has pretty much the entire bot side jungle warded for Lucian and Leona. As fight mid lane, ult comes out,
Ooh.
Rise able to walk away with about 150 health. Shen, dangerously
Oh, we got
low.
Shen ulting right on top of Zyra.
Very low. Ezreal ult. Looks like the Leona will fall to the Shen, and that is Shen instantly getting back into this game. He's
Now,
down
he
a lot
is
of
still
farm.
about 40 farm behind, but he does have teleport, and Jarvan is a bit low of mana and half HP. But he has 4 Dark Harvest Stacks, and now he's free to push the turret for just a little bit. So, was that really worth?
You know, it wasn't first blood, and it wasn't necessarily a shutdown or anything. Whereas realizing now Syndra has a 450 gold bounty, you have to wonder, is she going to be targeted by the Sejuani and Ryze? Because we saw just a little bit ago that Ryze can trade with her. He can eat her ult and still walk away. If Sejuani's there, does that, you know, tilt the scale in favor of Ryze?
I think they're going to look to take Dragon, but Sejuani is sitting right there and might have to engage on her. Oh, but Vi has no mana.
Vi
I don't know
is
if she
very,
knows
very
that.
She has enough mana for maybe 1 Q, and that's about it. And she's still walking up.
Oh,
trying
there she goes.
She smites a Scuttle Crab, and she gets mana back from it. And that looks like it's going to end up being a dead Vi. And just like that,
Nasty
Sejuani
root.
kills Vi, and Vi is 0-2 already in this game at 12 minutes in. And there are
That
a
will
lot
be
of-
a free dragon for Nova.
Lucian is not there. Syndra is not there. There's Leona might be able to steal it with an ult as J4 goes in on the Shen. Shen trying to fight his way out of it. Taunts the J4. J4 and Shen both respectively walk away as the red team takes the Mountain Drake. J4 out damaging the Shen right now with both a Tiamat and a Phage, whereas Shen just has a Tiamat and a Bambi Simber.
Like I said, Nova Sphere Gaming has a lot of CC. You get caught by one, and if the rest of the group's there, you're going to get caught by multiple.
I agree entirely, and surprisingly for being such an early game champion, Ezreal is beating this Lucian. Leona misses ult, lands the snare. Ezreal jumps away, able to keep going. Zyra just going to kill the Lucian as Ezreal cleans it up with an ult, and they're going to poke down this Leona. Leona flashes away, but not able to make it. That's a teleport coming in from J4 as Ezreal picks up the double kill, and J4 going in on the Zyra. Zyra able to lay a plant. Ults the Ezreal. Ezreal has nowhere to go, and he can't win this fight. And J4 picks up 2 kills, cleaning house after their bot lane lost. J4 now
Transpike.
2-0.
2-0 with a massive amount of farm, and not to mention 6 Dark Harvest. He is going to probably start walking over people here.
I agree, and he might just run away with this game. Sejuani, some reason, rather low. It could just be from her jungle clear. As it looks like Syndra warding around that Rift Herald, making sure that they don't get that. Leona clearing the 2 control wards in Drag Pit with an Ocean Drag coming up soon.
Syndra knows Sejuani's low HP, and she has 10 levels on her, and that is a complete delete.
There's a few levels on the Sejuani. Not maybe,
Just a few.
maybe not 10, but just a couple. As she all ends the Sejuani and picks up the easy kill. Syndra now worth 500 gold. Transpike still worth that 550 gold as Rise starting to push into the Syndra, starting to do a lot of. Gen ult comes in. And Shen instantly goes for the shutdown on the Syndra and gets it. Now can he turn on the Vi and pick up the Vi? And he does with the help of the Ezreal ult. And Rise able to somehow survive that. J4 still pushing that top lane.
Will he get tower first? Sejuani might come to try to stop him. And he does get turret.
He does take first tower, and then looks like he's... As mid tower will also fall, so towers are even at this point. Gold is only
ultimate.
a 700
why
gold
did you take that
difference.
Transpike. You could have killed the Rise.
Transpike's pathing a little questionable as Ezreal continues to poke down this Ezreal continues to poke down this Lucian. Vi taking her red buff on that bottom side, as is J4 if J4 decides to leave.
He wants to extend the lead. It's a very smart idea for Eclipse Fury to actually extend the lead, especially with Jarvan being 2-0 and being able to take tower with his farm. But Shen now 3-0 and got that shut. It's proving to be a worthy opponent. He's still 1,000 gold behind Jarvan, but he's able to help his teammates out with that ultimate.
Ezreal has all his mana items built, working his way to a Mira mana. Leona ult lands on the Zyra. Lucian ult comes through. Vi ults the Ezreal. Ezreal ults the wrong way. Maybe still picks up the Vi. Ezreal picks up the Vi with a... As both Lucian has to limp away. Syndra peeking back out this Ezreal as they know she's there. Syndra ulted by the Sejuani, tried to pick up the Ezreal and still died to the Sejuani. There was a lot of fighting in that. Break it down for me real quick, JP.
So Syndra, yes, she was correct to roam. I just don't think it was a good engage for Vi to follow up Ezreal under a turret. Vi has not built any. This is her first health item. She finally got Fury treads against an Ezreal. I mean, you can't really dive a turret if you don't have the armor and the health for it. So she definitely, she's 0-4-0. She does not have an assist. She does not have a kill. She's looking to get something to put her back in the game. There's just not much she can really do except hope for something. She desperately tried to get a couple kills. Just her ultimate is not enough to kill this Ezreal, who's able to slip right through her big gauntlets.
While you're explaining that, we saw a slight trade between J4 and Shen, and it looked like Shen is tanky enough to fight the J4. He doesn't do a lot of damage, but he can sit there and survive the entire time. So maybe that's a foresight into what's happening. Yes, J4 is fed, but if Shen can sit there and tank enough of it, he's useless.
That's just kind of Shen's job. He just kind of sits back, lets the farm come to him, and then if a teammate needs him, he ults. And that's pretty much the job of Shen. He's done it very well so far. He's cleaned up 3-0, has not really made a mistake yet. So I think we're trying to look for Vi trying to come back in the game here with a good play with maybe Vi, Syndra, bottom lane pushing against the Ezreal to try to get the bounty on him.
Meanwhile, bot tower did fall for Eclipse Fury, and Novasphere Gaming looking very, very strong toward this mid game as Wild Ezreal comes soaring through the map. Almost killed a caster minion with it, but that's about it. He didn't manage to land anything else on it. Rift Herald still yet to be taken at 18 minutes. I don't know if it'll even be taken unless they rush it right now, and they are grouping around it.
Vi's recalling. I don't think anyone's going to get Rift Herald unless Sejuani takes it right now, but she's not. She's going for Crow.
Ezreal starting to poke down their bot lane. Hits Leona, hits the Lucian as well. Zyra throwing out a wild snare. Try to maybe get some damage down. Ezreal going in on this Lucian. He doesn't quite have ult yet. It's ult in his ult is up in about 20 seconds or so. Can he do anything with it? Looks like J4 is roaming back top to try to get that wave, pushing back in their favor. As Rise taking a little bit of free damage from this Syndra.
And Rift Herald is going to silently just slip right back into the... No Rift Herald for anyone. It's been a fairly quiet game ever since that last fight breakout.
I'd have to agree. It looks like everybody is just trying to farm everything out. Vi on the top side. Shen might get caught out here. Vi coming back up to fight. And like I said, Shen is able to fight this J4, but with two of them there, I don't think Shen survives. Uses the flash to get away, dashes, Vi ult, J4 ult down. And looks like Shen is just going to fall. And that's a 600 bounty down. And it goes to J4. J4 is 3-0 now as bot lane starting to get pushed in.
Jarvan's definitely going to have to recall very quickly and try to help out other lanes now that he is 3-0 with a ton of armor. I mean, you saw how tanky that Shen was. He survived for quite a bit of time, getting both ultimates from Jarvan and Vi in order to take that beautiful ultimate. Here we go.
Wow, great ultimate on the side of Leona. Ezreal falls quickly. They're pursuing the Zyra. Sejuani there as well as Sejuani. J4 chasing the Sejuani away, but Sejuani barely going to live. Rise still pushing mid tower, doesn't realize what's going on. As Rise barely sneaks away. As they're continuing to fight, Vi looks like Vi missed the Q on the Rise. If she would have hit that, I think that would have been it. Shen ulting in onto the Rise. Rise may be able to live, unable to live, but Shen's there to hold tower at least as Sejuani barely limps away with her life.
Eclipse Fury pulling out something from nowhere, pulling out all the right moves. Jarvan able to help his teammates out, and Lucian getting a great couple kills, including the shutdown on Ezreal, bringing them right back into this game. They might just still have it. Now Infernal Dragon is up, and both teams are looking for...
Ezreal's still farming top, as you want your ADC to farm as much as possible. He is 3-3, so he is starting to do damage. He does have Mirror Mana as well as Iceborne Gauntlet. He's working on his Blade of the Ruined King.
Novasphere looking to take the Infernal Dragon away from Eclipse Fury, because if Novasphere gets this, that means they have one of almost every dragon, and that is a very bad thing to have when Elder Dragon comes.
Lucian coming around the backside.
Not have ultimate yet.
Vi triangling through, and red team able to secure drag. Shen taken low as the fight starts to break out. Lucian jumps onto the Rise along with J4. Sejuani flashes away, and that is a 3 kill for none. Ezreal still farming top. He wasn't even there, but they were still able to secure the drag.
But was that? I mean, yes, they got Infernal Dragon, so now they have 3 dragons. So when it does come time, there is a second Infernal coming up. When it does come time for Elder Dragon, yes, it will be worth it. But was that worth it now? They just threw away a big lead that Novasphere Gaming had currently, and now Eclipse Fury are in the lead with the gold. Not quite the objectives, but they are starting to make some good plays.
I agree. Very interesting play. They were able to capture the drag, but at the expense of 3 of your teammates. You know, is it worth it at the end of the day? Yes, drags matter. And if you can get that Infernal Drake, these are going to be very, very useful. But if you can't, you know, then was it worth it? And only time will be able to tell that, JP.
Again, another close game that's going to happen soon. Like I said, it starts off quiet. Everyone doesn't want to really fight, and if they have to fight, they will fight to the death, and they will take everything they can get, because if one kill happens over another, there may be nothing to stop the other team from getting an advantage. So it's just really close. Night Hunter Rook pushing his luck here, does get the star fruit, but I mean, he was a little low. So just have to be. Every team has to be extremely careful for what's going to happen.
I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to one big team fight, whether it's over
It will.
Baron, Elder Drag, something. It's going to be one team fight, and the team that comes out on top of that team fight is going to win the entire game. And right now, Vision's about equal right now. A lot of deep control wards on the side of Novasphere Gaming, but a lot of normal wards on the side, deep normal wards on the side of Eclipse Fury, so we'll have to see.
Novasphere currently just making sure that their mid lane is completely. We're going to spot the Farsight ward. You got lots of team mashing right now. Got 4 people, and Vi is not there. I don't know.
Vi back. That's very interesting.
They're engaging a 4v5.
Shen ults in onto the Rise. That's going to be a dead J4. He tries to flash away. Ezreal chasing very hard as everybody else was held up by the J4 ult. As the Syndra stun misses. That was a great Shen ult on the side of Clark Kemp as he saved a dude from the J4. And like I said, tanks usually win the matchup into bruisers as long as somebody's there to deal damage, and they have Ezreal.
They engaged without Vi. What were they doing?
And maybe it was a miscommunication. That looks like a lot of damage onto the Vi. Vi gets taunted. The Shin goes in and kills the Vi. Sejuani jumps onto the Leona. Leona taken very low. As a lot of people are standing on the tower. 4-man stun on the side of Syndra. As Zaya drops root. Lucian falls. Only one standing is Syndra. And what looked like a 4-for-1, 4-for-2 in that fight over a tower. I'd say that was a pretty good hold. Looks like they're rotating up to Baron, but Sejuani's dead for 20 seconds, and Vi's up in 5. Could just be clearing wards, but if they go for Baron, it's very, very risky.
We all wanted to try to have a quick game, and this might be going on for a bit longer. This is probably going to be a little bit long. Well, again, it can end at almost any time. There can be a team fight that just breaks out of nowhere. They might actually be going for this Rise now.
Rise maybe overstayed too much. Oh no. Oh, the jukes. Is he able to do it? Can he dodge all of the CC from the Leona? It doesn't look like it. J4 is going to ult him, and that'll be it. Oh, he flashes away. Still may be able to get him. Leona shuts down the Rise, and that was a very, very close 2v1 as Rise almost able to take down the J4. As the rest of his team starts to group for this dragon again, as Ezreal snipes the J4 out of nowhere. What a great ultimate.
Here comes a team fight for Infernal Dragon.
And Lucian instantly goes onto the Zyra, but he'll pay his life for it as Clark Kemp picks up the kill. And with no ADC, you almost have to back away from this because you don't have the damage. J4's dead, and your ADC's dead.
Oh my god,
wow. Syndra with the clutch steal. Mage Seeker again proving that he is the king of mid lane right now.
You might want to run, Eclipse.
Eclipse, you stole one from the king. You better get out while you can. Oh, that was quite a steal on the side of Syndra.
So far we've seen 2 bad engages. One from the entire team of Eclipse Fury going in for a 4v5 without their Vi. And then again with the Lucian going in on a 1v3 to try to fight out Dragon, but pays for that. So they're engaging alone, and I don't understand exactly why.
They have vision of the J4 and Leona coming through, trying to fight the entire team. Rise is not there, so it would be a 5v4 in favor of Eclipse Fury, but they choose not to chase.
I don't even know what to say anymore. This game is just so close.
This is looking like a very, very low-scoring solo queue game on the side of Eclipse Fury.
So far, Nova has the advantage due to towers, but again, the gold difference is slim to none. I mean, both teams have so much. It's just who's gonna. I think this is actually about to turn into a Baron play.
I think so too, as all 10 players are grouped around this Baron. Who pulls the trigger first on the engage? And if they're paying attention, they should know Vi was there based off her E. Clearing that ward. Syndra stuns the Sejuani. Everybody else coming around. And they're all grouped right there. And there's a Leona. That's a bad spot to group. Leona throws an ult and hits more than one of you. That's a lost team fight. As they group in that bush and they're trying to bait it, but I don't think they're going to bite. Ezreal's starting to poke around people. J4 jumps onto the Ezreal. J4 gets collapsed on. J4 walks away as the fight continues. Sejuani falls along with Leona. Fight still happening. Ezreal not going to live as Lucian shuts down the Ezreal. Lucian now falls. Mage Seeker picks up the kill onto a dude, and it looks like it's going to be an ace.
There we go. No, it is not. Shen lives.
Shen barely walks away with his life. But
So
we
that
have
is
Transpike, Hunter Rook,
2
and
for
Mage
4.
Seeker.
Eclipse Fury in favor.
Eclipse Fury showing they're not going to roll over for anyone.
They will want to take an inhib out of this. They want to get their advantage.
This
is the time for Eclipse Fury.
Eclipse Fury takes an inhib, and right now they should back off and look at a Baron play. And
They're too low to take it, but Vi's going to look for the rest of the jungle.
Instantly, you see pings going toward Baron on the side of Novasphere Gaming.
No one's spotting that ward in Pixel, nor on the bush right below. There are 3 wards that are still active, about to be 2. Shen's going to answer the call for this.
And I don't think he'll catch Leona.
And now we see all people grouping again by Baron, except
for
Jarvan.
Jarvan decides he's
What
going
are
to go
you
bot
doing?
and put pressure in this lane. Jarvan does have the damage to split push rather quickly right now between Titanic Hydra and Black Cleaver. So I wonder, is he just going to push and let the rest of the team poke it out?
I mean, if all Novasphere is going to do is just guard the Baron to make sure Eclipse Fury doesn't get it, then Jarvan is going to make sure they pay for that. But it looks like Shen is going to go back and answer that call, leaving it a 4v4 by Baron Pit. And yes, Revenite, I agree. Eclipse Fury, I do want to win. But it's just so close. There's just so nail-biting. Shen finally answering the call against Transpike. So close! Wait, what dragon's coming up now? Oh my god, it's another ocean.
Another Ocean Drake, not super important. Or Infernal Drake, sorry. Infernal Drake coming up in 3 seconds now. And J4's on that bot side, and Shen didn't use teleport, so both top laners have teleport ready along with Ryze. Ryze has the double teleport with his heal along with Shen. Ezreal ults the drag, see if they're there. As everybody clearing wards around that Baron. Baron is a major play right now for both teams.
But keep in mind, yes, Shen can be split pushing right now, but he can ult in back to his team at any time. This is just coming down to a stare-off. Who's gonna blink first? This is so
a little
bad.
out of position behind everybody. As Zyra starts Baron to try to get Syndra off of that ward. And Shen
You can see that Ezreal and Zyra. You can still see Ezreal and Zyra are working together, making sure they don't get caught out one-on-one. But it looks like
we're gonna have a high
Eclipse Fury.
engage. As Sejuani walked over toward Dreg and they saw that, and that's when they rotated up. So great map awareness on the side of Eclipse Fury to realize Sejuani's at drag. As Jarvan backs to answer the Shen split push, and Shen can just...
They are going for Baron!
Eclipse Fury tries to sneak Baron. There's a ward in there, so Novasphere knows they're on it. Do they have enough damage? Rides walking over from the side along with Sejuani. They have to back off, but they took a lot of damage from Baron. That's a cleanse on the side of Syndra. Syndra coming through. Ezreal picks up kill with the ult, and that's also a dead Leona as J4 jumps in trying to save everybody. J4 still living. Sejuani has to walk away. Or I'm sorry, Sejuani died. Shen has to walk away. J4 has to back away as Rise ulti doesn't land. And Ezreal chasing this J4 knows he can pick up the kill if he can get to him.
That will be Baron.
That will be Baron. Vi is dead for another 15 seconds. Maybe Syndra has another great steal in her book.
You're only one alive for Eclipse Fury. Maybe one more steal for the books, Mage Seeker. You've stolen Infernal Dragon, now steal the Baron. Both junglers are dead.
And she decides to back off. She knows better than just sacrifice herself for it. So, huge fight on the side of Novasphere Gaming on that.
This might not end well for Eclipse Fury, as Nova not only has Baron, but again, an Ocean Dragon and a Mountain Dragon. Not to mention there is another Ocean Dragon up right now, so that could help them even more. It's starting to stack up that Novasphere Gaming is just going to push over the first domino, and after it gets pushed over, there's no stopping it.
And now it's an uphill battle with Baron minions slowly pushing at you as Rise solos the drag and takes a couple health, takes the health plant to try to gain some of that health back, and Rise can split push really quickly. Revenite still believes in Eclipse Fury.
I know.
It's a lot of hopes, Kurt.
There always will be hopes. I was about to say there will always be Kurt.
Always gonna be Kurt's. Just gotta live with them.
Look at this tank battle. It's just both of them. Yeah, they're doing barely any damage, but they're both tanky. There's nothing you can.
Surprisingly, Shen still only has a Tiamat built for damage, and that could just be for wave clear because he is clearing wave rather quickly. And with Baron minions, he will end up doing a lot more damage to the J4. He could maybe go for a trade if J4 overextends.
Beautiful 1-3-1 for Novasphere right now. They're just slowly pushing in each lane with the Baron. Slowly just crushing Eclipse Fury.
As bot tower falls and they're going for inhib there, and Lucian the only one to answer the Rise, and Rise looks like he's going to kill the Lucian, and look at that, he does.
You could say Eclipse Fury is getting eclipsed.
You need to leave now. That was bad.
I'm sorry.
That was bad.
I keep the bad puns rolling.
Tell you what, I'll follow it up. Eclipse Fury looking like their wings have been clipped. As Sejuani ults the Vi. Vi able to walk away before any of the damage happens.
Yeah, Revenite is not very proud of me right now.
Revenite's hating. Let him hate.
He's not even a dad.
Yeah, Kurt, go back.
That will be game for Nova. I don't think they're finally engaged from Eclipse Fury, trying to get back on the. Just that peel.
And then the Shen ulti, and Sejuani just wrecking Nexus along with the Rise, and that will be game, I believe. Maybe.
Yes.
There it is, and that is game. That is the final
Novasphere
game.
has won. Eclipse Fury sadly has lost another game. There will be a day for all of you that are hoping for Eclipse Fury. That was a very, very close game, and as I said, it just goes to get closer and closer and closer. Personally, for me, I definitely think their first major mistake. They did have a couple advantages. their first major mistake was trying to take that 4v5 fight when they did not have Vi. That was a big mistake.
I agree, and Vi did not do a whole lot. Almost got out damaged by the Leona in that, but Vi didn't look comfortable playing Vi, and maybe that was part of it. Is maybe it fit, but it just didn't work out. JP, who do you think was the MVP of that game?
I'm not. I mean, a lot of people did a lot of work. I can't really point out anyone. Really, I do have to say though, probably Shen, because of his beautiful ultimates that came at the right time and peeled off of the enemy. Just a beautiful taunt coming right off of that ultimate, taunting the enemy away, getting his teammates alive.
I agree. I would put it on the Shen. Ezreal did a lot of damage. Ezreal did his job, as did Ryze, but neither of them would have survived any team fights when they got focused down if it weren't for the Shen ulti. And so I'm gonna say we pull in the Shen if that's possible.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So Clark, if you're available, go ahead and hop in the Aquadome real quick, and we'll get some last minute player interview real quick. Overall, a really close game. Very well played by both teams. I wouldn't mind watching these two teams play again because that was such a great game to watch. So, all right.
Hey.
There
What's
he is.
Good? What's up, guys?
Not much. It was a teeth chattering game. I was sitting over here panicking. I didn't even know what to talk about. It was just so tense the entire time. I mean, no team was really that far ahead.
Yeah, dude, that's the way we like it. We like a nail biter.
That was a really good game. Well fought. Talk me through some of your ults. Like every team fight, it looked like you knew exactly the right person ult. Tell me.
I just told them that whenever they needed my ult, they just needed to as long as they could, and I would ult them. But all seriousness, it was just they would just call out when they needed a good ultimate, and I was watching the map and the health bars. So it was kind of like a good effort on everybody's part because they were communicating really well.
You're welcome for that, Clark.
For some reason, your ADC jumped in here.
Yeah, Mitch, this is my interview. Get out of here.
But I am the captain.
I
of
muted
the
him if it makes you feel better.
Okay.
Don't let him take the limelight from you.
Yeah, dude, this is my moment. Come on.
He might have done the most damage and had more kills, but he wouldn't have gotten those kills if you didn't save him. So just remember that. Overall, well played. Talk me through the itemization because you built a team out early, but you never completed the Titanic Hydra. Why was that?
So I was just building Sunfire and the Tiamat so that I wasn't getting pushed under lane relentlessly. So it was kind of just a wave clear item that I would convert into the Titanic Hydra later. But I wanted to prioritize getting the CDR so I could ult more often and kind of, taunt more in team fights. It's better to get the CDR than it is to get the damage kind of deal. Because the Shen's utility is better than his damage output.
I agree entirely.
In my personal opinion, I see somebody spamming nonsense, but in my personal opinion,
it's just Kurt. He doesn't have it. Kurt, go back to your own channel. But overall, great game. You guys played really well as a team. There's a few questionable pathing. There's one point where I think it might have been you or it was Seji, but you guys walked right past like 3 or 4 wards and didn't clear them. And they were control wards. You guys just continued to walk past them, didn't clear them, didn't think anything about them. So
okay, so like we were sitting there thinking like, you know, we needed to give them some sort of advantage, and like we thought having them have control over vision was a good way to do that. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, you sound so cocky right now.
Dude, I'm just trying to make it fun and interesting. No, but all seriousness, it was just I think everybody was just caught up in like communicating that may have just walked over the ward, because I don't, you couldn't really hear our comms because we're in a different channel, but like we were talking constantly and always like basically yelling at each other like, what we needed to do. So
sounds good, man. You want to say to anybody that's cheering for you or rooting for you real quick before I hand things over to JP to ask you a couple questions?
Yeah, I just got something for Mason. Mason, stop telling me that I'm not going to be the MVP and it's not going to be you. All right? Thank you.
All
I
right,
had to
JP,
deal with
over to
Mason
you.
the entire time.
JP, over to you. Ask him whatever you want, man.
I don't really have anything.
All right. Well, that
Yeah,
makes that
that's right.
easy, I guess.
I guess, dude, you don't have anything to ask me. All right. Feels bad. I just play boring tanks all day.
You know, I figured since JP's a top laner, you would have had some like top lane questions.
I
some
mean-
deep thought, and I was just like, oh, all right.
I mean, what was going through your head when Transpike was absolutely? I mean, I know you were playing back. I know we had this itemization talk. You were going against a Transpike with Jarvan Dark Harvest. What did you first think of it when you saw Jarvan taking Dark Harvest?
I thought it was a bad choice. I mean, Dark Harvest is like good for the poke, but if he's trying to all in me, then he just should go electrocute. So like, without knowing what he was trying to do, I can't really say too much about it. But I can say it in like, if I was doing it, I'd have gone electrocute and tried to like basically kill the Shen over and over again until he was useless. Because like, even with all the poke he had, I could just, you know, back and come back to lane or back and TP and, you know, like all that. So it wasn't really that big of an issue. The only thing that kind of, I guess, was kind of an issue was the CS difference early, but that was kind of to be expected with how I was itemizing.
Overall, team played well. Before he continues crying in chat, Midget Gizmo had a great game on Ezreal.
Yeah, dude, I guess you gotta give him his moment. I've had my time. Every dog gets his day, right?
Yep. All right, we're gonna wrap it up though. We'll talk to you later.
Right,
JP,
later,
any
Skater.
final thoughts before we? Any final thoughts before we hop out of here?
Well, I'd like to thank everyone for watching and definitely tune in for tomorrow's stream of StarCraft. That's been very popular, I've heard, and it's been a lot of fun. So congrats to all the teams that have won. Everyone has played extremely well tonight. And I'd like to thank Leftback for being here with me too.
Did what I could. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Both teams, great job. Sorry for the delay. You know, people prioritize weirdly sometimes, and you just gotta roll with it. So thanks for everybody that subscribed today. I think we had 6 on this channel today. So everybody that followed it, liked it, viewed it, shared it, everything. You guys are great. Wouldn't be here without you. Until next time, this is Leftback signing off. See you guys later.
Oh, great touch. Nice. Pushes it away. The passing play can lamp pop. No.
Here's coming in as well. This might actually be U.S. economy going down. She is going to get the flash route. She's going to flash out of the way here. She's going to get down. First blood goes over to the Vi. Junglers get traded over. But is it
enough to really get into the heads of these players.
It
Like
was enough to save them from making a goal, but here comes Conjure getting into the goal. Brown, what a great shot! Even the clapping hands, nice. Stormy Inferno, like a puff of
30 seconds left, Sean. Dr. Dad gonna try to get this set up, but Coco is able to receive that in the air. Go for the shot!
I cannot believe it.
Might be able to turn this around. Oh my goodness! The damage is coming in. The Scion coming in as well, but down goes Graves. Down goes Bard in the back. My Malphite are able to take down Lissandra.
Oh my god, what a beefy ultimate coming in from C Sentinel here. SLC God gonna try to take somebody down. 2 kills coming in for C Sentinel, but SLC God goes down as well. C Sentinel brought down low. Bobby's gonna try to do something to take her out, but it looks like we might actually get a first ace here. We might actually see a pentakill here. Come on, get the pentakill for C Sentinel. Do it for the stream. C Sentinel with the pentakill. Woo!
Coco pops it up. Ibot going freestyle.
No way!
Heroes defense is looking pretty strong right now, but how long can they eventually conjure?
Oh,
Look at the goal!
Almost saved it. Watch how close. The angle that gets him, not the timing.
Somebody click that.